Yeah, we can ask later.
All right. Welcome
Alrighty.
in, guys. Welcome to another night of Cantrell Country Travelway Cruise Line Show.
All right.
With our special guest,
Welcome
as you
to
all
another night of Cantrell Country Travelway Cruise Line.
Okay, who's got something background, guys?
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of it. Hold on.
It must be Debbie. We only have our computer on, so
I got it off.
Okay.
there you go.
Because I can hear me speaking, and I know it ain't me because I
It was
got nothing else on
probably
me.
you were on your computer and your phone at the same time, Debbie. Is that
Yeah.
what it was? Yeah.
Anyways, but welcome in, guys. Welcome. Let's welcome our guests. We got who we had last week, Jill and Mike.
Yes, a
But
week ago.
unfortunately, we had a crash of a show, legitimately, with the laptop, as everybody knows. And then, of course, Mama D, who comes in and we know is the referee for when Mikey comes in and starts causing all kinds of havoc. I mean, I behave. I let's just face it. I'm an angel.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Okay, hold on here. What is going on? Let me check one thing, guys, because for some
No worries.
reason. All right, it's all the way up. I think these headsets getting ready to go out again. Good headset, but cheap when it comes to things. All right. Anyways, well, guys, as you all know, we're here with Mike, Jill, and Mike. And there
Hello, Paul.
we got Paul
Hi,
England. How good to see you, Paul. I hope Stephanie is doing okay. Tell Stephanie hi. Go Flames, as we always say. But anyways, so we got them back, except this time, guys, with the new laptop, we can actually see their pictures. And we
Yes.
can actually hear the stories of Jill and Mike. And Mikey's not here to cause havoc, so Debbie won't have to referee.
Debbie can just enjoy the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you. Can you hear us?
Come on.
I can hear the lobby.
The headset's about toast.
Paul can hear us.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you guys now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I had to unplug it because I think one of my ear plug. I'm gonna have to go get a new one because what it is I think my left ear where I speak is also going dead, so I'm only hearing her. Hey, you're sounding soft because I can hear on my right ear, but this
We were muffled.
thing. So I had to wiggle the thing around just to try to get it back to. So yep, I think I'll be going to Five Below and getting a new one tomorrow.
Yeah, your technology has been failing you lately.
Well, it's not the failing. I've had this one for a while, so it's worked. It's just worn out. As many
Hi,
shows
Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Good evening, Jason.
And
as
Mike
many shows
Beachman.
Hey,
And
Mike.
Mike Beachman, yep.
Yeah, as many shows as I've been doing, and I do. These are not the only shows I do. Like I said, obviously I haven't done no show on Space Mountain, but I do have. I am part of another community which I don't discuss in this realm, but I do quite a few shows with that. So, but technology gets quite used wear and tear.
Yep.
But that's okay. We can go ahead and go.
Okay.
Anyways, so why don't we start with the icon?
Yes.
Just talk about the ship itself. I figure what I'm going to do is we'll start with as you can see, I kind of used your picture for the thing. This is the basic, guys. This is, and I don't know. Maybe you can answer this, Joe and Mike. I don't know what angle this would have been of the icon, but I'm assuming this was off the pier just
Yes.
before you
Yes.
embarked onto it.
Yes, we took this when we were standing on a pier. This was
This was
which port was this?
this might have been Roatan.
Yeah, it's possible this was our first port.
Okay.
So you
Anyways.
can see we couldn't even get the ship in the picture, the whole ship.
Well, to give you an idea, the length of the ship is 4 football fields in length. It's just under 1,200 feet stem to stern.
Wow.
And it's about 460,000 some odd tonnage, I believe.
Yes.
Right,
right.
and 20 decks.
Yes. Minus deck 13.
Minus
Yes,
deck
minus
13.
deck 13, correct.
Unless you're on,
Uh-uh.
Did we freeze or Dave froze?
Yeah, I think Dave froze.
Yes. You
Yeah, I
were
think
frozen,
she's
Dave.
trying to say unless you're on the British one where it's minus 17.
Well, MSC, which is has no deck, 17?
17, he mentioned that, yeah.
But they do
Yes.
have deck 13.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so they all have their superstitions.
Yep.
So,
Also, while we're waiting, the width of the icon is probably about at least 1.5 times the width of other
normal
cruise
ships,
Yeah.
yes. Whoop,
Oh,
Dave
oh.
had to go out and he's coming to come back in.
Yeah. And not only that, it looks like it's like pretty heavy.
What, the ship?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
could-
sure-
I
I'm
could
sure it is.
Imagine
Yeah.
the weight of that machinery.
Well, that's partly why you really don't feel it when we were skirting a hurricane and the seas were getting pretty, a lot of white caps, but for most of the trip, you wouldn't have known it if you weren't on deck or looking out a window.
Wonder what happened to Mr. Dave. He's having it.
I'm sure he's going to try. I'm sure he's trying to come back
There
here.
he is.
yeah, StreamYard did it again. It's this time it's not. It actually is not. The last couple of times it has not been the internet connection from the hotel. It's been StreamYard that's been giving me issues. So
Ah,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
going to seriously look at new systems to use for streaming. To be the honest, truthfully.
All righty. So we were looking at the side of the icon that didn't even
Right.
fit in our total or all our photo.
Right.
Yes, we'll bring that back up. There's the
There we
icon.
go. Yeah.
All right. So, and as we go through, we'll, if you guys got any questions, please feel free, guys, to ask. This ship, I'm telling you, I've watched it time and time again, pull into and pull out of the port of Miami,
yes.
and it dwarfs
It's a massive. Yes.
every ship that comes in and out of the Miami port.
Right.
So what these guys are telling you, I can visually seen it because like I said, I've watched it, and I've watched Carnival ships go by it. I've watched MSC go by it, and it just.
Well, matter of fact, when we were in the port getting ready we hadn't left yet. What was the ship that went by us?
It was a Carnival ship.
Carnival
I don't
ship.
remember which one.
Yeah, there
But
was
it was one of their newer ones.
yeah, one of the newer ones went by us, and we could see the look on the people's faces as they went by the icon going, holy, that is a big ship.
It's massive, yeah.
Well,
The
I'll still
ship
never.
also looks pretty too. I mean, just
It's
the look
very, well, it's
ship.
very clean and pristine. They keep
Yeah.
it very clean. So it is a nice looking ship.
Well, what was it in Cozumel? Remember, we were docked next to the Margaritaville.
Margaritaville, yes.
And our cabin was on deck 12, and I was out on the balcony, and we were literally looking at the top deck of Margaritaville, and these people were
Staring up.
because, again, 20 decks, not counting deck 13, and we were.
Oh yeah, and Margaritaville, its ships compared to even to MSC Carnival, Margaritaville ships are very small compared to most of the cruise lines.
Right.
Well, I think they're older ships.
They are. They're older ships.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to
Okay,
the
so
first
next-
picture.
Let's see what we got next here. Here's the part of the ship that we didn't see in the first photo.
Okay.
Right.
You can see it's the same location. Michael just turned the camera the opposite way.
Again, remember I said 4 football fields in length.
Now, from what you're saying, this is actually one of your port calls that you're taking these photos
Yes.
here.
Correct. Michael seems to think this was a Roatan, so that would have been our first port of call.
And of course, here again, that's
Now this is a different port, I believe, Michael, isn't it?
It might, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. But that again shows you kind of a little bit closer view of the side.
Right.
The one where I have the comparison, that was Cozumel.
Yes. Yeah, because then we parked literally
We
next
were
to
parked next to
other boats.
okay. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, obviously you see, and then of course somewhere, and of course this.
Okay,
is the
so
back of
here's the back of the ship. You can see how wide it is. Now that thing you see kind of in the middle there, where it's kind of got an arch, that is where the kids.
Well, they have
area.
that's the infinity pool.
That's the infinity. Well, that's the infinity pool,
Right.
but behind that, Michael, as I recall,
Yeah.
is the they call it Surfside.
Surfside. It's one of the neighborhoods.
Right. And then of course you've got, cabins all
Yeah.
along the
Yeah, what's
sides there.
interesting about the icon is that you have a lot of cabins with balconies, not only like what we had, which was a sea view, but they have a lot of cabins that overlook these, what they call neighborhoods. So almost like like here in Vegas, it's called the district, where you have apartments that are above where like all the shopping and stuff is.
Yes.
This was the same thing where you
Right.
had all this
Right.
activity and then multiple levels of what I call the interior view cabins. They still had balconies,
Yep.
or large windows.
Right. So they had that for the Central Park District. You could look out on what was essentially Central Park. And then you could do that as well for Surfside, so that people who wanted to be closer and keep an eye on their kids down there, I guess, theoretically could if they went out on their balcony and they were, close enough.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Except they'd be looking at 1,000 ants running around.
Yeah. So this is a set. This gives you an impressive view of the back. So
Yeah, so that tells you right there. You just look, but again, like you said, this here shows you, and if you look at the other, even the glimpse of the ship next to it, it'll tell you how massive wide it is, which it's just, the width of it is just slightly bigger than most of the cruise ships. It's more the length and the height of the icon that makes it.
right. And you'll see it. There's another photo coming up that'll show it better for you.
Yes.
Now this is Michael. Where were we here? We were in. This is Roatan, isn't it? Because we were standing in front of the Roatan sign and then went over to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a little farther away from the ship.
Right. But again, look at the picture of this. You got your cruise line here, whichever that one was. I'm not sure which one that one was really. But then you look
Yeah, I'm
at,
not sure. Well, maybe
then
this
you-
is Margaritaville.
That might be the Margaritaville.
That might be, yes, because that's what the colors look like. It. This could be from Cozumel then.
Yeah.
okay, but look at the size of the dwarf of that thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as you
I
mentioned,
mean-
the Margaritaville is not one of the largest ships, but on the other hand, it just shows you how massive the icon
Well,
is.
but it goes to show, yeah, I mean, even carnivals, you look at carnivals and it just dwarfs them.
Yes.
And I know for a fact that the carnival ships that they have built over the last few years are good sized ships.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, this is.
Well, I know
how-
MSC is planning on building one that is larger than the icon, but it hasn't been started yet. So it's
well,
years
they-
out.
MSC has about 3 ordered between 26 and 2030.
Right. And the thing with MSC is they had to, like with the icon, it had to be built at a particular shipyard because you have to have it where it can accommodate the larger constructions,
Correct.
which
Welcome
is, I
in, Jerry,
think it was in Finland or somewhere
I think
like
it was
that.
Finland. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I was pleasantly surprised with is in all 3 ports, we did not have to tender. We actually, even with its mammoth size, we were able to tie up and walk right off the ship.
Right.
And that's a good thing about it. That's the thing. It really is a very unique ship that it's the size and the amenity. Walking up to it, I can only imagine when you're looking at it like, holy, I mean, when I first walked up to the Elation, I'm thinking, okay, this is a good size ship, until I started checking into more ships. And then all of a sudden I started working into the travel agency. I'm going, you know what? The Elation is like a tugboat now, pretty much, if it's still operating. And I don't know if it's.
Can you imagine? We started cruising in what was it, 1981? I think my first. Well, no, we had cruise. Do we go on cruises before we got married? I don't know if I did. But 1981, we went on something called the Independence of the Seas around the Hawaiian Islands. So if you compare this Royal Caribbean
Oceanic Independence.
Oceanic Independence. Okay, I'm sorry, not Independence of the Seas. I'm thinking Royal Caribbean.
American Cruise Line.
Royal Caribbean. We went on Sun Viking and one other one, and they would be dwarfed in comparison to this ship.
Nice. Okay. So
All righty.
let's get into now. I'm assuming this is the main atrium that you're
This
looking
is
at.
the Royal Promenade. So here we are, I think, one deck above it. So we're on deck 5. The Royal Promenade was on deck 4. So this is giving you kind of a look down the Royal Promenade, and they tended to have, there are restaurants down there. So I think, if I'm understanding the picture correctly, to the right is the pizza place.
Mhm.
Michael, is that correct? And then you sort of see a little bit of what they called the Pearl. We'll see better pictures of that later, which is their entry atrium display kind of thing. So they've got shops down here. They've got the pizza restaurant. They've got a karaoke bar. What else did they have down there? There's a little, what I call a booze shop.
Well,
They had a Starbucks.
Well, they have first
They-
thing you see when you walk on board is a Starbucks.
Yes. So that's on deck 4.
I'm glad
this-
Mike's not here on that one.
Yeah. Well, I told Mikey the other day and he went, what?
I mean, a real Starbucks.
Yes.
With the branding and everything. It's
Yes.
Not just that we serve Starbucks drinks. It's
I
like,
guess I'm going to have to go back and have a little talk with the Royal Caribbean representative.
Well, I think the Starbucks are only on the icon and the star, but I'm not sure.
we'll
I
have
could be wrong.
we'll have to have them fix that.
But they have a unique mug too. They have Starbucks has these mugs that are the Been There series. So when you go on the icon, you see the one that's for the icon. So it's a Been There mug just for the icon.
right
Nice.
out in front.
Yeah, so I got
Nice.
that. That's one of my souvenirs.
Nice. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're frozen, but we can hear their voices.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Do you want us to exit and come back in?
That's
No,
up to you guys. I mean, we can
We
hear
don't
your
have to.
voices.
We hear,
No,
you,
we're
we hear
fine.
your voices. We hear your voices.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
At least it's not a frozen in place strange shot, or I would want to leave.
Yeah. Anyways, so on to the next. Again, this is obviously you're on the promenade deck then looking down. I don't know which view you would be looking at.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what this was. Do you remember what this was, Michael?
Trying to remember.
Because this is
Is this
this
no,
might not be the promenade because it
No.
doesn't really look like a promenade. This might be, well, actually it might be because
Yeah,
we're at one
no, it's
end.
the lights.
There were
It's-
just not a lot
yeah.
of people on the
There wasn't a-
promenade right then. So I think we're looking down the opposite end here.
yeah, because it's not the Aqua Lounge.
No, it's definitely not the aqua.
No,
Yeah.
And the lights that you see up in the ceiling that are blue are actually, they change colors. So they're the LED lights, and they depending on what they're doing, they have multiple colors. They actually, it's so wide there that they actually had a couple of parades that went down the promenade deck.
Oh wow.
nice.
Well, think, as I said, think here of like your traditional large mall where they have that
Right.
long expanse of the shops.
Right.
And then of
right.
course they could do.
That's
they could-
actually a very good point. It's-
Yes.
You think about your higher end mall, and that's what it felt like.
Nice. Okay. Well, but again, it goes to show you though too. Look at the variety of different things that you have as far as food and entertainment down along this whole promenade deck.
Right.
It goes to show you how mammoth this ship is. Two, how the different varieties that they're actually trying to offer people aboard ship.
And the amazing thing is there's a lot of people on board. You don't feel it.
No.
I mean,
And well, look at this shot.
yeah. I mean, with all the people that are on board, and there is about 6,000 plus passengers, you would not know it. The only time that I sensed it was date of embarkation and the date of debarkation. But even then, it was still handled very well. But during the cruise itself, never really had any complaints about being overcrowded or not being able to get around. It was, you just didn't feel the volume of people.
I wanted to say
Right.
hello to Jerry Hatbox Ghost. I know
Yeah.
those two came in.
Yeah.
Yep, I said I got him earlier.
And what it looks like when the blue, it almost looks, at least to me, it looks like it's like the sky.
Yes.
It looks like you has that feeling that you're outside, but covered with like these,
Yeah, it looks sort of like the glass ceiling, doesn't it?
Glass
Looking up
ceiling,
at the
yes,
sky.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it looks like.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Moving on to the next.
Now here's
That's
the pearl.
pearl.
This is what you see when you first get on the ship. You are facing the atrium, which is this pearl. As a matter of fact, one of their cafes is named the Pearl Cafe. That's the cafe that's right next to this. But you have to walk up these, I don't know if you can see, but there are stairs
In the middle.
that go through this pearl, if you will, and come out into the Pearl Cafe.
Oh, okay, nice.
And then on the sides, actually, people can sit there when they do have the parades.
Yeah, they have a lot of seating, but right behind this, and this is also the area behind this where they have the where you book your expedition, excursions.
Excursions.
There we go, excursions.
Well, basically, your excursions, customer service.
Customer service is on the opposite
Yeah,
side,
and next cruise.
and then next cruise is back there.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
And what's interesting is with the pearl, you see how it's like pinkish purple inside. That's a bunch of panels, and those panels move. They actually, like when they're playing music, they actually will move in conjunction with the music. and it's really something to see.
Well, that purple pinkish thing needs to go. That's the only thing I see is the purple pinkish color.
Well, those are the tiles that he says they move.
And they do change colors.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm good then.
Yeah, we took this before they did any of their activities. This is obviously a
Nice,
shot.
but that is beautiful. That is
Yeah,
actually beautiful.
It was quite impressive.
I mean, because I've actually, since they did the christening of the Disney Treasure the other night, I've actually dove into more of, they've actually released more major pictures of like the atrium and certain things on the Disney Treasure. And I'm telling you, it just, when you see pictures like this,
that's my next set of sharing is after we're going on the
pictures.
Yes, he's the pick, and he's going to take more and better ones. That's my instruction to him, because we're going February 22nd on the treasure. So
cool, and we look forward to that one too.
Yes, so do we. Okay, now here is
this is a scene from the Aqua Lounge. This is at the very top of the ship. Forward, it's literally right above the bridge. So depending on where you're seated, you're basically getting what I call the captain's bird's eye view. And I think that's one of the pods.
No, this isn't a pod. This is actually you have to walk up. You see it. Here's a pod, Michael. See?
Okay.
See that thing that looks sort of like it's sticking straight up there, and it's like a circular, or I should say an oval shape?
Oh, yeah.
That's a pod. So you walk up some steps and you get into this pod, and it's like a whole seating area where you can have, like, say, 8 people, and you've got an elevated view looking out the glass front of the ship.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And here it's glassed in. It's almost like a sunroom, but it's glassed in all around, all the way on top, on the sides, everything. So you've got this, you're protected
it's a
from
glass
the weather.
dome.
Literally. Yeah, it's basically a glass dome. And we actually, the first night after we had dinner, when we left Miami, there was a electrical storm, and we actually were watching the whole thing.
Here's a question from Jerry. So Jerry, to give you an idea, Royal Caribbean gives you discounted prices, even for this. This is their newest ship, and normally without any discounts, this would be the same price as Disney. But because we, the travel agent we went through had a special, you had to book it real quick, but they had one that was buy one, get one free in essence. So it was 50% off. We paid $3,200 for a week. Whereas at Disney, for the same type of cabin, it would have been the $6,400, and Disney does not discount. Matter of fact, with Disney, your best thing is, if you're going to go on a Disney cruise, is to book as early as you can, because the prices go up the farther out or closer you get to the sailing date.
Yeah.
As far as value, I'll be able to speak 100% more clear on that after we go on the Treasure. But we went on the Wish, and to compare this to the Wish, there is no comparison. This is so much better.
Now, I will say that the Wish cruise was only 3 nights, whereas this was 7.
Right. That's why I'm saying the Treasure being 7 days,
right,
we will have a lot more of a comparison.
Also, if you're traveling with kids or teenagers, from what we've been told, because one of the couples we went with had their 12-year-old daughter who's been on Disney, the kids club is comparable. The only difference is of course, on a Disney cruise, it's very Disney centric, whereas on the Icon, it is not. But as far as kids activities, very comparable for both vessels. Both are extremely family and kid friendly.
It depends on how you choose to get your Disney fix, so to speak. Right. If you're a person that loves going to the parks, would I suggest you going on a Disney cruise? Probably not, because you can do a different kind of cruise like the Icon. They have a whole, they call it, whole neighborhood that is Surfside, which is all kid oriented. They don't have that on the Wish or on the Treasure. There you're kind of spread throughout the ship as far as where the kids go to play. But on Icon, for example, there is a whole half of a deck dedicated to children. Carousel, splash zone, hot dogs,
Food truck.
cookies, ice cream, all free. And it's just geared towards kids
Or family.
or families.
I'm going to add on to something else. What you were talking about booking, whether it's Disney or whether it's Royal Caribbean or actually any cruise. I'm going to tell you guys, as a travel agent, you want to get the best prices, book out as far as you can, because one, you got two things you're looking at. The amount of time that you are booking when you're booking it. Like if, you're obviously going to get a better price now if you're booking for something in 2026 when they start releasing the dates. And a lot of the cruise lines have started releasing their sailing dates for 2026 now, at least to us agents. But not only that, but make sure you're aware of, the time of season you're going, whether it's spring, summer, because those prices, like they said, they fluctuate and they go up and down depending on when your time of year you're sailing and where you're sailing to as well.
Well, Jerry mentioned that it's just his wife and him. He has no kids. In that case, Jerry, unless you're somebody who lives a long ways away and has to have your Disney fix on a cruise, I would definitely recommend the Icon. I think there'd be so much for you to do on it. I don't think you'd get bored.
I don't think you could see the whole ship.
You can't see the whole ship
in a week.
No, we couldn't see the whole ship in a week. There were some things that if I went back, whether it's the Star or the Icon, because they are similar ships, that I would focus on that I missed. And I wanted to say hi to Dean. Dean came in.
Yes.
Hey, Dean. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next picture. Obviously, guys, we're going to probably run to a good hour and a half because you sent some good pictures and you're giving us a lot of good information.
Right, and I'm happy to answer any questions. There is no question that is stupid, trust me.
Okay,
so
I'm assuming that. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay.
This is a shot taken from basically the elevator lobby is open to where you can look down. And this is, because I believe that's the carousel.
Yeah, this is the surf
So
side.
this is surf side. So this is looking down from probably deck 15. After we get off the elevators, and I said the huge elevator lobby, I took this shot down into Surfside. So the blue that you see in the front of the picture, that is the top of the carousel. And then there's a number of other activities in there. And you can see the cabins that face into the neighborhood. Those are all balcony cabins.
Surfside is on deck 7. So they have now on each of these, what I call neighborhood sections, they'll have eateries that are actually in here. So on here, as I mentioned, there's one that's kind of like the bites, as they call it. That's where you can get your hot dogs and your cookies. And then there's an ice cream place. And then there's an eatery where you can actually sit down and eat. There's an arcade on this level that you can't see from here, but there's that. And then, as I said, when we were looking initially at the ship from the back there, that's where the water splash zone is. We will have a photo, I think, of the carousel in a few slides here. So we'll be able to see it up close a little bit better. But this is, but the fact of having this for people.
There's the
that one. There we go. Next one, Dave.
That's
the carousel.
Wow.
So they actually got this carousel in the Surfside neighborhood that the kids can ride. So it's like they go to like I want to say it's almost like a water park, but with amusement. Like it's a combination of an amusement park and a water park. With some of the things that they offer. I think they even had bouncy houses. Didn't they have a bouncy house?
They have one, I believe.
Yeah.
Good gravy.
Yeah, I mean, so that's why it doesn't seem like you have families with children, you never see them.
Now here it's a splash zone. I mean, as far as the slides are concerned, that's up on like
that's the Thrill Island, as they call it.
Island.
Yeah. So this is Surfside, which is on deck 7, takes up half of the deck.
Yeah. To answer your question, no, it's ported out of Miami, Jerry.
Yes. But if you want to fly to go to the Icon, I recommend going into Fort Lauderdale. We stayed at the Embassy Suites, and they do have a shuttle or a bus that goes from the Embassy Suites to the Port of Miami. So just to let you know that.
And
Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, as we said last week, Fort Lauderdale is much easier in and out as far as the airport is concerned than Miami. It's just more convenient.
And I was going to say, Jerry, if you prefer Port Canaveral rather, wait until the Star of the Seas comes out.
Which will be a sister ship.
It's a sister ship to the Icon. It is going to come out, I think, in August.
Right,
and
it
25.
will sail from Port Canaveral.
It sails from Port Canaveral.
And then I'm going to add on to something this. I mean, you were talking about getting there. I'm going to tell you this. When you're going to a port where you know it's going to be busy, I'm telling you, especially, if you're coming from a state that, like right now, we're getting into the winter months. Some of the northern states are now starting to see snow. Guys, as a travel agent, I'm going to tell you, if you're taking a cruise, let's say in December or January, leave a day or two early.
Yeah,
Get your flights, even if you, maybe spend a day or two around, like if you're going to Miami or you're flying into Fort Lauderdale, spend a day or two there. Then be ready to move to the Icon on the day of embarkation.
Oh, definitely, Dave. I would say if it's during the time of year where weather isn't as much of an issue, you at least want to fly in the day before. Okay.
Yep.
If it's during the winter months, like we're going on the Treasure, we are actually flying in on a Wednesday. But then, of course, we're going out of Port Canaveral. So we want to do a little bit of Disney and then go on the Treasure. So you've got to allow for those airline hiccups, the weather hiccups, that kind of stuff. And travel insurance, I cannot recommend more highly, just to protect yourself, because this is a major investment to go on a cruise.
Okay, Jerry's got a question for you on the one that you just mentioned.
Oh, what do we do? We took a what, Michael? Well, how do we get from the hotel to the?
Oh, well, they have for Embassy. They actually have a shuttle. It's not theirs, but it does cost, but it wasn't that expensive. And they actually meet you at the airport, and they stop at a number of the hotels. So
it was like 10 minutes, literally.
Yeah.
The Embassy Suites is literally about 10 minutes from the airport. And it's a nice hotel.
Well, now, how long now you said you used that same shuttle to get to the ship. How long did it take?
No, we actually.
We had friends who picked us up from the hotel, live in Fort Lauderdale or near there, and drove us to the Port of Miami.
Okay.
But if you didn't have friends picking you up, they do have a shuttle service that takes you from the embassy to the Port of Miami.
In fact, you can contact the embassy directly, and they will arrange everything for you.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to do Fort Lauderdale for the cruises out of Miami.
Yeah, it actually is. Yeah, for me, I would avoid Miami unless there's things you want to see down in Miami. But obviously, I would definitely recommend Fort Lauderdale because you can get to the Port of Miami is correct. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. I think the last time we flew into Miami was, I want to say that was 2018, and it was such a zoo.
Well, it was a Friday.
It was a Friday, yes.
Jerry, you would actually have to contact Embassy Suites, is what they were saying. They would be able to tell you how long it would take.
Yeah, I don't know how many pickups. They have, but how long was the drive in the car?
The drive to the Port of Miami, assuming now it would be there was an accident, so going down, so it slowed us a little bit, and it was raining. But from the Port of Miami back to the airport at Fort Lauderdale, which was on a Saturday, and it was wide open, I would say that drive was no more than about 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, so
The drive down was probably a little bit closer to an hour.
But that was because of
but we
rain,
were-
and accidents.
Yeah.
yeah, because people down here don't know how to drive when it rains. They drive nuts.
Oh yeah.
Plain and simple. That's
Even
the
though
state
it rains-
That's the
even
state
though
of
it-
Florida.
Yeah.
Even though it rains every other day, they still don't know how to deal with it.
Listen, if they even get snow flurries down here, they panic.
Well, that I can understand.
No, I can't, because it's nothing.
Oh,
People
well,
in Vegas, our big rainy season is actually in the summer with the monsoons, and we don't get as much in the winter. But it's I would say it's funny, but it's not, because they have all these commercials on about flash floods and don't drive in the intersections, and then you on the news it's like, well, there's these 3 cars that were stalled out and they had to rescue the people off the roof because it was a flash flood
yeah.
on the strip.
So Vegas, they don't know how to handle anything here
Yeah.
either. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, no,
yeah,
no, no.
definitely not a 2-hour ride, Jerry, unless there's some unknown traffic issue. Let's put it
Right,
that
yeah.
way.
No, you would be good. I don't think it.
Oh yeah, it's
Fort
definitely
Lauderdale-
not a 2-hour drive. No. Yeah,
No.
it's no more than an hour.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
And again,
Moving
like
on
I
to
said,
the-
that was with traffic.
Yes, traffic and rain and accidents.
Yes. All right. And
All
what
right,
do we-
so this is okay. What was
This
this?
is another
Oh, this
shot.
is looking into Central Park.
Yeah.
So you can see kind of the greenery. If you look out the window there, that's looking down into Central Park. We did not provide you the pictures of Central Park because we had our friends in them and we didn't want to invade their privacy. So
No. I'm
Yeah.
glad you didn't. No.
yeah. So, but this is if you go into that deck, which is let's see, that deck is deck 8. They have a whole half of the ship deck that is a replica of Central Park. So they've got the greenery, the shrubberies, everything, the little
They actually
benches.
had birds.
There were birds that live on the ship.
Real.
Can
Wow.
you see that? Yes, birds. And matter of fact, one of the people we traveled with said they wash down the deck in Central Park. And when they do that, it startles the birds. And then the birds will go and actually land on people's balconies and peck at their windows. So he said there were like 5 little birds that were pecking at his window at 1 a.m. or something. And he was like, what is that?
Oh, well,
Yeah. So, but no, they down here. So this is when we went to eat at the specialty
Chops.
restaurant, Chops. It was in the Central Park area. They also have there's a sushi restaurant.
They have a deli.
There's a deli. Oh, the deli is incredible there.
Yeah.
And when we get to talk about food, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But they had this. If I had to sit and read a book in the outside, this would be where I would sit and read my book. It was that nice.
nice. Okay. Let's go on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
there's-
here you can see some of the decks. If you look down, that's still Surfside, I think, down there. But up above, we took this picture because that's the biggest of the slides. Well, up there on the top, that's Thrill Island, and that's one of the bigger slides. So that whole deck is full of activities. 5 different slides, a mini golf,
Yeah, they have mini golf.
wave rider, that goofy thing we talked about last week, which was the hangover drop it ride. What else do they have there? They had something else. There was something else, but there's all kinds of activities up there. Some are paid, you got to pay for them. And the slides are free, but I think you had to pay
The
for
drop one, I think you paid.
and the
for.
mini golf is free.
The mini golf is free.
The
slides are free.
wave riders cost.
Yeah, wave rider, I think
Yeah.
you pay for.
Yeah. So like going to an amusement park.
Exactly. And there's, see, and I think we need to get Debbie on one of those. We need to get Debbie on one of the ones that have a bottom chute and drops out from right under your.
Oh, no, I don't think Debbie wants to do that. We have a photo of that, Debbie. You will see you do not want to do
By
that.
the way, Debbie, that's FYI, that came from Mikey, not me. Just letting you know.
Uh-huh.
Ah, you mean
Okay.
Mikey? He's trying to cause trouble, Debbie, and Mikey's not even here.
I know.
I'm just trying to tell you that it came from Mikey.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
no.
Anyway, yeah, I love it. I mean, obviously, yeah, because you look at the back of the ship, you can tell it's like a whole carnival at the back of the ship, basically.
Right. Yeah, this is an impressive ship. Okay, so it's hard to see here, Debbie, but the hanging, dangling thing, you see that kind of clear area where you're looking
Yes.
out into the sky? It's over there. And so what happens, these people go up, I don't know how they access it,
There's probably a platform.
to walk up.
Yeah.
They put on this special suit, okay, and then they walk across, how would you
It's
describe
almost
that?
like a rope bridge.
A rope bridge, okay?
Oh.
Matter of fact, one of the people we were watching needed assistance from one of the people running the ride to help them walk across. I think they got fear of heights or something in the middle and got stuck. So you walk across this thing and around, and you stand on this platform, and you can either jump yourself across the open area, or the platform will drop, and then you go sailing along, kind of like a dangling from a zip line, but you're up and down, you're upright, and then you hang over the ocean. It's like 560 feet above the ocean, and then you turn around, go back in. So
Yeah.
we said heck no.
Yeah.
Hey, see, Debbie, look at Debbie. She's already excited about that.
Yeah.
I took one look at that. I said
No,
two chances
no.
going on that, and Slim left town.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah, Nick, she wants to get away from that.
Well, hey.
But we were standing basically a deck below, and we were in we were eating in the little Mexican restaurant.
We were having a snack.
We were having a snack. I had some quesadillas.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I do gotta let Mike. I do gotta let you know that, and I believe was it Royal Caribbean? One of the cruise lines of actually making changes. Might have even been Carnival. So they're making changes where the pizza is going to be stopping at 12 a.m., but then they're opening a buffet where you can get fries, some other things, and different types of pizzas. So they're not getting rid of the pizza.
Okay.
They're just turning
Well,
it.
the pizza-
I think
The midnight buffet.
Yeah.
I
The
wanna
pizza
think-
place was open till 3 a.m. on the Icon.
Yeah, I think it might have been a Carnival, but it might have been. I want to think it was Royal Caribbean on some of their ships, but I'm not quite
Oh.
sure. I'll have to go back and check because I've been doing so much training that I can't remember where I saw it now.
Ah,
But yeah, I do like that idea of having other things besides pizza.
No,
oh, you can find so many different things to eat. It's incredible.
okay. I'm going to tell y'all again. The one best thing about cruises is the 24/7 pizza.
Well, it's not 24/7. They do close at 3 a.m. But you got room service if you're still needing a notch after 3 a.m.
And I can still get my pizza 24/7.
Yeah, that's true.
There
You
you go.
could. Yes, that is true.
Basically, if-
24/7 pizza.
Basically, if you're hungry on that ship, you have only yourself to blame.
Thank you. Mhm. And I will say this. This is not just the Icon, but any cruise line, because these ships are getting bigger and they're getting so more elaborate that they're offering tons of different styles of food. And you're looking, like I said, I went to MSC. For the first time, I've never seen it where, and I don't know if it was in my last slides or if it's going to be in the slides that I'm creating, because I still have to finish up the second set of slides for the MSC tour that I did. I had never seen where they had the conveyor belt of sushi, and they had like
Oh,
32
conveyor belt sushi. It's not the best.
Well,
I'm-
no, but they had 232 different flavors of it. So I don't
Okay.
know what it all was,
Huh.
but they had 230 different. They had 32 different varieties of it. So
Okay. Well, being on a cruise ship, it might be better than what I call the traditional conveyor belt sushi places, which
Yeah,
usually
no.
don't get very high ratings.
no, this is MSC, so I can guarantee you.
Yeah, so they're probably okay. It's probably fresh.
It's going to be held to a high standard. I
Yeah,
can guarantee
that's
you.
true.
Because all these cruise ships, they generally try to hold their. I mean, most of the cruise lines, they try to hold their food to a high standard.
Well, yeah, that's one of the strong benefits of going on a cruise is the food. You want to have good food.
Yeah, and like Mike said, if you get hungry, it's not their
Your fault. Yeah.
It's your own fault.
Mm-hmm.
See, Mikey needs to be in
Okay,
here.
so here, okay, this is on,
This is the infinity pool.
yes, this is, you can see the infinity pool where it looks like you're dropping into the ocean there at the edge.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And they have those, the blocks that you see, those are, how would you describe those? Those are like chaise lounges.
Yes,
They're huge chaise lounges that are sitting in the
like
pool.
islands in the pool.
Yeah, little islands. They're even bigger than
Yeah.
a chaise lounge. So you have there are on this ship there is a lot of places to sit to enjoy the pools. There are 7 pools. I think there's 7 pools.
7 or 8.
There's
and
7 pools.
None of them were what I call overly crowded.
No. And then there's plenty of seating to enjoy the outdoors all over the place. Some of it's shaded, some of it's in the sun, depending on what your preference is.
Nice. Yeah, and I love that view because look at you're again. I'm assuming this is near the back of the ship, and you're getting the view off of the.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the aft of the ship.
Right. And you're getting a view off into the distance there. You see the port we ran. This is probably Cozumel.
I think this is Cozumel.
Okay. Well, that was actually all the pictures you sent me with
For the icon.
for the icon.
I thought I had sent you one that showed you a comparison between the Margaritaville and the icon.
That
Also-
the only one. The only one that would have been the one picture from the
Okay.
port scene that where it was parked next to it.
Yeah.
But
But no, we had one that showed an even more drastic, but that's okay. I know we've on both sides we had issues because I couldn't send you slides and then you had your
But
Your
we had
computer.
the the food and the
yeah, no, so that's these were just the icon
oh,
photos.
okay.
Yes. Now I'm going to do what I am going to do. Hold on. Don't give me that because I'm the one that. Share screen. I told you this is where.
Where you had some issues.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, because I sent him icon photos and then
There was cabin, and then there was
pictures of our cabin, and then pictures of some of the food.
If I can pull. Yeah. Now see, I'm trying to bring up, and give me 1 second because I'm going to try something.
Okay.
So if there's anything else you want to,
Well, I can talk about the different decks because I made a listing of what was on
yes, go
every
ahead
deck.
and do that. I'm
Sure.
going to try to download something. It's not.
Okay.
It is not letting me. It actually is not
So
letting
Dave,
me.
while you're trying that, I will go through the deck by deck, what's on each deck.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yes.
Okay. So basically the first 2 decks are the crew quarters. The second deck is the port gangway. I think we used deck 2 in one of the ports. I forgot
we
which
used
one
deck
it was.
2. I think we used deck 2 for all 3 of the ports.
Did we?
I believe so. yeah.
Okay. And then deck 3 is where the medical center is. Hopefully no one ever has to visit it. And then you get to deck 4. That's where their theater is. That's where their casino is. And that's where the promenade is. Okay. And then deck 5 is the second level of the theater. It's the upper level of the Royal Promenade. As I mentioned, the Royal Promenade has pizza, has karaoke bar, retail shops, Starbucks. That's where you embark. That's where you find your guest services and your next cruise and your excursion assistance. And then on that deck, the shows we went to, one of the shows we went to is called, it was an Absolute Zero, which is their ice skating rink.
Oh, wow.
So they have an ice skating rink. And the show that they had was, I would say all the people that were skating in it were probably the caliber of Olympians. You know, not Olympic gold medalists, but people who have competed in the Olympics. And it was an incredible show.
Also, a point with the ice skating rink, when there is no show, that is open to the public.
Right. You can
go
actually
in
go
there,
ice skating.
You can get skates and you can ice skate.
Right. And then deck 6, it has the fitness center. It has some bars. It has the Pearl Cafe that we mentioned when you go up those stairs into that little Pearl area, goes into the Pearl Cafe. Deck 7 is where the Surfside was, where you saw pictures of that, the kids zone basically. And then deck 8 is the Central Park area. They have the Park Cafe, which was the deli that we went to. Chops Grill, which was the specialty restaurant that we went to, and then they have a sushi specialty restaurant.
Okay.
The cabins are most of the cabins are decks 9 to 12 and 13. No 13.
Right. So 9 to 12 and then 14.
9 to 12 and then no 13. And then the spa is on deck 12. They have a whole spa area. And then some more cabins on deck 14. That's also that's where the overlook is, which is what they call that area. That's the Aqua Lounge. We call it the Aqua Lounge, but they call it the overlook, where you can sit and look out the front of the ship and get the fantastic views. That is also where the Aqua Theater is. Now, the Aqua Theater, we went to a show in the Aqua Theater, which was incredible. Again, you had all kinds of athletes of various persuasions. We had divers, we had swimmers, we had people who were doing things on skateboard. We had people who were doing things. When they first started, they had this, what would you call that thing?
It's like this wheel, 2 wheels, and it rotates around, and there's one guy in each one, and they're spinning around.
They spin inside. They walk around inside as it's spinning, do different tricks. They walk on top as it's spinning, do different tricks. As I said, the divers were incredible. At one point, we had divers coming out of the ceiling, and that was how many stories they had to
Deck
dive.
18.
Deck 18 down to deck 14.
Now I can bring up.
Okay. So yeah, we were talking about the shows, Dave.
No, that's fine, because I'm about to bring up some more pictures, and this was on a Word document that I just had to change over to a PDF.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can show better pictures of some of the areas.
This is the one that you showed me. I don't know if it came out the Icon website or where
it was on the Icon website. Yes, I Googled it, and it's what came up when I Googled.
But now I can actually show you.
There we go.
Well, that's
here
we go.
Pictures of what some of the stuff that we actually seen.
Right.
Or
so, like for example, I'm trying to think what the first thing is. Is that the Aqua Lounge? I have a description underneath there, Dave, which is really teeny. Oh, that's the Aqua Dome.
That's the
so
Aqua Dome.
That's the theater where all these divers and all sorts of people, were performing for us, which was an incredible show. The next one is the Overlook. Yeah. This is the front of the ship where you can the glass dome.
That's the
they call it the Aqua, the Aqua
Lounge.
And then here, I'm just reading it here. That's the is that the theater?
That's the Royal Theater.
Yeah, Royal Theater. Okay, and we saw Wizard of Oz there. Some of the comedians,
the comedy show.
Yeah, there were comedians there. And there should be, page 2? Was there a page 2? I think there was a shot, Dave, of the better view of Thrill Island. I think that was on page 2. So looks like you've loaded there we go. So there's Central better view. I think that's Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the one down below is a better view of Thrill Island, which is the top level.
Yes. So that goes to show you just how massive this ship is, guys.
Yes. So anyway, continuing on. So deck 15 is where we ate our breakfast and lunch. It's called the Windjammer. That's the one. Remember, we talked about whether the cafe or the buffet was on two sides of the ship, and there was a left and a right. So that's where we ate most of our breakfasts and lunch. It also has, that's where the Mexican cafe or whatever it is, where we ate our quesadillas. There's Sprinkles, which is the ice cream place, is up there. Over by they have lots of coffee bars, lots of bars all throughout the ship. Must have been a bar on every public level. Yes. And then on this, they had a sports court. Let's see what else they had here. The suites are on, I think, 18 and 19.
Right.
And then deck 20 is the basically where the Crown's Edge is, that crazy drop ride or drop thing that we wanted to put Debbie on.
Yep.
And so that's a discussion.
I'm telling you,
there.
that's FYI. That came from Mike.
Of the deck. So Dave, did you have pictures of our cabin?
Yes, I do, but I'm going to go ahead. We've been an hour into it, so I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Do your break?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm going to do my commercial.
Okay.
Whether it's luxury or fun in the sun, Dave's got the tips to make your cruise number one. Tune in, sit back, let's plan your stay on Cantrell Country Travelway. It's Cantrell Country Travelway, setting sail on adventure every day. From island south to ocean blue, we got your cruising covered through and through. Pack your bags and set your sights. We're cruising seas and booking flights from the ports to the waves where dreams come alive. Dave Cantrell is here to guide your ride. It's Cantrell Country Travelway, setting sail on adventure every day. From island stops to ocean blue, we've got your cruising covered through and through.
All right. So if you guys are looking to travel, please reach out to me.
So I'm going to read something, Dave, because I printed out when I looked up the icon, they said new concepts include the Aquadome, a diving and performance venue under a glass dome on the top of the ship. That's what we showed pictures of. The Pearl, a structural feature designed as a dynamic art installation on the Royal Promenade. Absolute Zero, which is the ice skating rink and entertainment venue. Surfside, the family neighborhood. The Hideaway, that's a beach club that features the first suspended infinity pool of any ship. That's the picture that we showed you. Thrill Island, which is the largest water park at sea, featuring 6 different water slides. Swim and Tonic, which is the largest swim-up bar at sea. And they said the ship has a crew of 2,350 and a capacity of anywhere between 5,610 or 7,600 passengers, depending on the capacity or what's been booked. It has 20 decks with 7 swimming pools and 6 water slides. And they claim that they have the tallest waterfall, the tallest water slide, and the largest water park of any cruise ship.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah,
Based on
so
what
that's-
I've heard.
And I believe it.
Yes, based on what we saw, all that's true. All right, so here we go. Getting
Now,
ready to,
these were the next few pictures you sent me, guys.
right, the cabin.
And this is the cabinet state. So, obviously, again, there's a better view of that picture of you're talking about the length of the icon. Again, look at
Right.
that. That's that one picture.
And that's
from-
3/4 of the ship looking at the back.
So, again, so the first one this is obviously.
This is our balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
This
is our
just a
balcony.
shot. This is a shot of just a couple of chairs and the little table on the balcony.
So we had some interesting weather. So we were so busy exploring the ship, we didn't spend a lot of time out on our balcony other than to glare at the people who were on the Margaritaville. So obviously, once you get to know the ship, then you probably spend more time out there, especially if you're going during when you're not trying to avoid the hurricanes.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So that's, and okay, so
Now,
that's,
this is looking from the balcony
Forward.
into the cabin. So you see that there's a couch that does convert.
That converts to a
bed.
bed.
And then, of course, they've got the dresser. There's a fairly good sized dresser. In the dresser unit, they have a small refrigerator and then some drawers. And then you'll see the bed. We had a king size bed. So it was a good sized cabin. We were quite comfortable in it. And this was a veranda cabin.
nice. Nice. I'm just curious, what did you guys don't have to say if you don't want to, but how much about, don't give the exact price, but about how much did you guys pay for the veranda?
Well, we mentioned it earlier. Half price, because we got 50% off, was $3,200.
Yeah, I think we paid for $3,200.
Now for $3,200, this is a steal.
Oh,
For
yeah.
everything that's
That is major steal because
yeah.
most veranda, unless you're going to like Carnival, because with Carnival, even with Carnival, for a veranda, even for someone like the Freedom, you're going to pay about $3,200, and that's
Right.
that's on the Carnival. But that you're talking about again, Carnival is the cruise line that's more mediocre for the middle class.
It's more
people.
affordable for people who need to, yeah. So I find that with the Icon and the Star, because they are the newest, that they tend to be more expensive. They're on the same level of pricing as the Disney ships, but there's a lot more to do on the Icon, and I'm presumably on the Star when we go on it.
And they do tend to have more sales. than
Right.
Disney
They have,
does.
I get, for example, once you're in their emails, I tend to get offers every weekday of some type on the Royal Caribbean ships. So,
You ought to see my mailbox right now.
yeah, I can imagine. So
Just
I
trying to
think
keep up on the deals.
Royal Caribbean is one of the best values out there for what they give you.
It is. And here's my thing. And this is why I'm saying, if you're looking, Royal Caribbean to me is the one where if you want a bang for your buck between the Carnival and Disney, Royal Caribbean to me is right there in the middle. Yes, you're going to pay a little bit of money, but you're getting, because even on Royal Caribbean, you've got your casinos, if you like your casinos. If you love your food and entertainment, music, bars, lounges, different variety of food, you're getting that, like Carnival is trying to offer now as they're building their ships bigger, and something that Disney's already kind of done over the last several years, offering that different variety of food.
So Paul was asking how many days and nights. I'm assuming that question is how many days and nights did we go on our cruise? It was a 7-day. So that was $3,200 for a 7-day.
7 nights.
Or 7 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, we embarked on Saturday and got off on Saturday. So there was I felt that's the right number of days for someone who's been on cruises before.
Right.
7 to 10 is kind of the sweet spot.
And I'm going to tell you, if you've never been on a cruise, start with a 3 to 5 days.
Yes.
Until you find your dynamics, or make sure you got your sea legs, 1 to 2.
Exactly. Or also it tells you what things are important to you for you to look for a 7-day or a longer cruise that you must have.
I'm going to tell you, I'm telling you that, Paul, for you and Stephanie, if you've never been on a cruise, which I don't think you guys have, you said that's one of the things that's on your bucket list. I'm telling you, as a travel agent, 3 to 5 days, because these ships are getting so big. They're offering so much for the bang for the buck. You cannot discover it. Your first trip, basically, you want to basically, with your 3 to 5 days on a cruise, you want to discover the basic essentials. And then you can expand as you go on to other cruises or, to other cruise lines, then start expanding where you can spend more time and target whatever you like. And
it's like going to the Disney parks for the first time. You will get a little overwhelmed with all the options of what you can do, so you kind of have to pick and choose. And then Yeah, and then going forward, you can be more selective and
Yeah, and the only thing different is I will say the difference between the parks and the ships is with Disney, you can always have fun. The problem is when you get overwhelmed on a cruise, it can actually Disney, you'll always have the magic and you'll never be disappointed. With a cruise, if you get overwhelmed and you try to soak in too much, it can ruin your whole trip.
that is true.
That so you have to be careful, and that's why even and if you guys remember, you guys even with when I had Carnival and Royal Caribbean on as guests, they've even told you with beginning guests 3 to 5, so that you're not overwhelmed with all you're not bombarded with everything because there's so much you just don't want to get overwhelmed.
Right. So, okay. So there's, so as I said, this stateroom was very comfortable for us.
All right. So I'm assuming
So
this is from
there's a view from standing outside the bathroom, looking towards where the balcony is. This is the view of the room. Now, the interesting thing was on the cruise, once, I don't think it wasn't the first night, it took them a couple nights, but then they started making little towel animals for us. So you'll see, like right now, there's a little elephant on the bed. And at one point, I think Michael took a picture of a hanging sloth.
Yeah.
So they had different creatures there for us every night for us to enjoy.
And I will tell you that is pretty much almost the standard across all cruise lines now.
Yeah.
Because even Carnival has done that for years. I would think Disney would do it because of who they are. But now you're saying the Royal Caribbean's doing it. So that, to me, and I've heard it from other people that have done cruises that they've seen that happen. So I'm thinking that has become a standard across the cruise line industry for them to do that with the towels.
Right. But it's just a little cute thing that, we come in and, oh, look at that, it's something cute.
Yeah, but if you got overwhelmed, to see something like that at the end of the day can actually cheer you up. It really is. Or it can just make your day even after. What a way to end the day.
It made our day.
Yeah, it's nice to see when you come in.
Yes, it's kind of like welcome back to your cabin.
Right. Yes.
And the cabin stewards, just to let you know, when they first introduce themselves, they will ask when the best time is for them to come in and do your cabin up. It can be in the morning. It can be. We usually would tell them always do it while we're at dinner because for sure we're not going to be coming back in the middle of dinner. So that's always a good time is for them to come in at dinner time when you're enjoying your food, and that way they're not in your way.
Yeah. Okay. And then there was one more slide for this one, and that's
the bathroom.
Yeah. Now, the thing I wanted to point out here is you have a full-size shower on the icon. You actually have a bench to sit down on. You have room to move around. It's very comparable to the shower in your house. Whereas on some other cruise lines, you're lucky if you can fit one person in some of those showers.
Like even though the Disney bathroom is split between the commode and the shower area, and you have 2 sinks, the shower itself is rather small. This was a normal shower.
Yeah. This was a full, what I called a standard size shower. So it was laid. I mean, the bathroom is not the largest, but it was very efficient. You had the commode, you had a full size sink, you had plenty of storage in the bathroom for your toiletries. And like I said, the shower is full size.
And I also want to add on to that, guys. You got to remember they had a veranda state. Now, each cabin, especially if it's your inner cabins, inner staterooms, the showers are not all going to be like that. The showers vary from, category to category in the staterooms. Now, obviously, the bigger category you're in, which you guys had a veranda, so usually the showers are going to be like that because you get a little bit more space than you do in the stateroom, and that's usually standard across all cruise lines. It just depends on what type of category stateroom you choose.
So veranda means that it's more of an upper level of a room.
It's, well, a lot of more
Well,
of the
you have a
ships have,
balcony.
yeah, a lot more of the
basically.
ships have the balcony cabins and fewer
Okay.
insides now.
Right.
I think one of the cruises way back when, I think it was one of our, I think it was the Rotterdam for Holland America. We had an inside, but I think we got upgraded to a bigger inside.
Yes.
But for the inside cabins, unless you're a person that is not going to be in your cabin other than to sleep and shower, if you want to enjoy like just sitting on your balcony is an added pleasure. But
It is.
Yeah.
So
We have a question from Paul, Dave.
Yep. And to add on to that, and we'll take care of Paul's question in a minute. Here's the thing, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. The verandas are usually your middle categories. So
Right.
you're going to pay a decent price on them. But look, and like you said, look, for a veranda on a Carnival, it's about $3,200. On the Icon, obviously, you are looking at more $6,400. It just depends on what cruise line you're going on and at. But your verandas, staterooms with your things, even though are going to be medium-sized price. So you're going to look at a standard of anywhere from $3,500 to $4,200 for a veranda normally.
So to answer Paul's question, which is kind of a two-parter, our cabin, would you say, Michael, was more in the kind of the middle?
Midship. If you want to avoid the movement, the two things you want to be midship and you want to be lower down. So those are the areas where you're going to feel less movement in your cabin. As a rule. Now, I will say that depending on how the weather is, whether the winds are hitting you on the side and you might be rocking side to side, it's not going to make as much of a difference. But for normal movement of the ship, when you're just under power and you're cruising, midship and about mid-level tend to be your most stable.
Right. Now, as far as the dining plan, basically the dining room is a 3-level dining room on the Icon. It's the deck 3, 4, and 5. You choose the time that you want to dine. There's really no plan per se. You pick the time. So we had the earlier time.
Right.
We were at 5:15, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was I want to say there was a middle time and then a later time.
Right.
Now, they also on the Icon had a dine anytime plan where you could show up when it was convenient to you and they would seat you. So really pretty flexible. And then but you don't have to eat like, for example, a couple of nights, the people we were with chose not to eat in the dining room because they didn't like what was offered for the menu that evening. So there is the buffet that is on one of those decks. They have really good food in the buffet, so they opted to do the buffet. There are numerous other places to eat that are not, they don't cost. They got different options all over the ship.
Right.
There's one is a deli like in Central Park. There's the little Mexican food area where it serves quesadillas and tacos and things. There's all kinds of different options there. And then, or you could choose to do an upcharge and eat at what they call the specialty restaurants. So there's a lot of different options for where to eat. As far as breakfast, we always ate in the buffet. Okay. There were a lot of different options in the buffet. For lunch, we ate in the deli the one time. Most of the time there, we'd go into the buffet area, or we'd go and have a quesadilla in the Mexican, a lot of different options for dining. So, and they don't cost the one we went to that costs extra. No, the flexible plan doesn't cost extra. Everything as far as your food is included, with the exception of the specialty restaurants. And then of course there's a specialty dessert place where the desserts are extra. They're little fancy desserts.
Right.
And then I think, was there a fancy ice cream place? I don't remember. I think the ice cream was also free. So everything is food is pretty much free.
And I can tell you, the food on the ship in the dining room was excellent.
Yeah, we had no complaints
Yeah,
at all.
I mean, some people do like to eat in the specialty restaurants. We did it one night for Chops, which was it was definitely 5-star.
But they offered it to us for half price because
Yeah.
they were not filling up. So they had a guy that was wandering around basically when we were eating at the deli, for example,
Right.
which is in Central Park, and we had one of the best roast beef sandwiches we've ever had. Okay. They came in and they were asking if we wanted to eat at Chops, the steakhouse that's on that in that same area.
Next door, basically.
Next door, yeah. So we said it was normally $70 extra a person. Now for that price, because the food on the ship is so good, we didn't opt for it at that price. But then they started offering it to us for half price. So at $35 a person, it was worth it. Okay.
Right.
And we had like rack of lamb.
Yes.
That's something you don't normally see on the menu in the dining room.
And that's not something at a high quality restaurant that you're going to get for $35.
Well, here in Vegas,
Yeah.
even for 30, you couldn't find rack of lamb for $35. So, yeah, so that was worth it the one night we did it. So that is something, if you want a special, more intimate type of dinner, you pick one of the specialty restaurants. They have one that's seafood, one that's sushi, one that's the Chops, which is the steakhouse. There might have been a few others, but like I think there's an Italian one.
Yes, there is.
So you look at that beforehand. You make reservations
The
for
Italian
those.
one's on the promenade.
Yeah,
You just mentioned what I was going to add on to that. Yeah, I mean, what they're saying, Paul, is quite true. Obviously, though, with some of those places they were talking about, some of them only operate certain hours. So you want to make sure that you're watching those hours on
right.
the
Dinner.
app, because of the dining options and all that, and because of the other flexible restaurants. Some of them are like operating from early morning to late to
Right.
evening. But I will tell you, and that's the other thing. If you choose to do a specialty restaurant, I will tell you, I would look at them ahead of time before you go on board, because once you get on board, you're going to want to make that reservation, because some cruise lines, they'll let you make the reservations beforehand. Some you have to actually wait till you get on board ship. But again, that goes back to what cruise line you're traveling.
Bye, Jerry.
Have a good night, Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, as I said, a lot of different food options. Dave is right. There are different hours for the different venues. Nothing is open 24/7 other than
Room service.
bringing in your food to your cabin.
Which can be good
But
too.
I think I'm trying to think. The buffet was open from 7 a.m. until 10. Was it 10?
Something like that.
And then there was another area that was up near closer to the Aquadome that was open, I think, till 11. After that, it was pretty much the pizza open till 3 on the promenade
And room service.
and room service.
Which I believe is
24/7. Yeah.
Yeah, room service is 24/7.
And the dining room was, we had breakfast in the dining room one day, because I wanted my eggs Benedict, which was fixed perfectly in the dining room. And, so the dining room is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you just have a lot of, options for food.
Which is a good point, because those were some good questions, Paul. Thank you for asking.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
I
have copies of the menus. I can tell you for the dining room on our welcome aboard night. This is on Saturday night. The starters included escargot, crispy crab cake, a chilled shrimp cocktail, all kinds of things. The main courses they always had the New York strip steak or a variety of a steak every night if you didn't like the other selections. The first night I had slow roasted prime rib. Okay. They usually had some kind of chicken dish. And for some reason on the Icon, every night they had an Indian dish. So different Indian specialties. There was always one each night.
let me take care of this next question, because
Okay.
I know you guys don't
Alcohol
drink alcohol.
package. Oh, yes,
Yes,
there is.
Yes,
Yes.
there is different. With that, Paul, you're going to find out the alcohol There's several different packages when it comes to the alcohol. Some of them which will include everything from your regular sodas and juices all the way up to specialty drinks.
Right. Well, I
So
think there
there's
is,
different-
Dave, on the Icon, there was an alcohol package. It's not inexpensive.
No.
So you kind of have to look at it to determine how much am I
Right.
going to drink.
Well,
Is
they
it worth
break
it?
it down. They break
Yeah,
it
they
down
do.
because
Yeah.
there's a package for just your regular wine and beers, but then
Right.
you've got alcohol packages. And this I know for a fact because with all the training, they have your specialty drinks like your cocktails and other things.
Right.
So you got your specialty, which is that's your premium package, which usually covers all your drinks, all the way down to Cokes, Pepsi,
Right.
whatever they're serving. But they have different levels of things, and they do have one or two levels of alcohol packages.
Right.
You
And
know,
then
but-
there's the soda package, which we opted
Mhm.
not to do anything extra as far as beverages. We're not big drinkers. We figured if we decided to drink, we'd just pay for the drink individually. And then we opted not to do the soda package because at home here, we drink a lot of water. We drink a lot of iced tea. So the water and the iced tea and certain juices and things of that sort are included. They're free. Okay. If you want the higher quality, if you want sodas, if you want higher quality juices, or if you want coffee, there's even a package for people who like their bougie coffee, their lattes and things of that sort. So
and we'll make sure it does not come from Starbucks. And you can tell that to Stephanie. I know I'm going to hear that.
They have plenty of coffee bars that are not Starbucks.
And
So.
it doesn't come from Starbucks. And I hope
Exactly.
Mike hears. And I hope
Exactly.
Mikey hears.
So
this.
your regular coffee, your iced tea, your hot tea, milk, a number of juices.
And the juices were good ones.
yeah.
Strawberry kiwi was my favorite. And it was
So
free.
Orange juice, strawberry kiwi, a couple of others are all included.
Yes, those are free.
All right.
She's listening and she's not amused. Okay.
The only place they had Starbucks was the Starbucks location when you enter the ship and the Pearl Cafe.
Okay, so yeah, they do have their Starbucks.
Yeah. So anyway, for desserts, my hubby lobbed on to the first night's dessert, which was key lime pie.
Well,
And it is out of this world.
I'm going to tell you what, since we're
Whoop. We lost Dave. Dave was,
no,
there you go. You're back.
no, I'm here.
Okay. So yeah, so
Uh,
that was the first night. That's what they start you off with.
Well,
Okay.
speaking of which is the Icon food, let's go ahead and bring those
And look at
pictures
the
up.
pictures. Yes.
Yes, this is the last ones. I mean, obviously, we need to get to the food. I mean,
Yes.
we've actually been going an hour and 27 minutes. but
Well,
this
we've
is-
been
this is
giving
cool.
Paul and Stephanie some good information here.
It is, and I look forward to helping them when they go on their first cruise.
Right.
I mean, I joke about this stuff, but obviously as an agent, I'm going to give you the best quality and make sure your magic vacation is magic.
Right.
So here we go, guys. We've got the Icon.
The Icon.
And again, there's that again.
That picture.
It's a mammoth. So obviously, I'm going to tell you this. If you guys, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I should have said this earlier. Whatever cruise line you go in, make sure you download their app.
Yes.
Oh yes.
All your cruise lines have some type of app, which will give you the listings of your restaurants, the times they're open, times of the shows, different events, food locations. Which ones will cost an extra upcharge, which ones that are free. So make sure, I'm telling you, and it'll help you with basic, cabin information, things like that. So
Plus, it gives you your itinerary. Once you book things, it reminds you.
yes, the itinerary is usually somewhere on those apps as well. Thank you
Yeah.
for bringing that up. So the good thing is, make sure that you definitely want to make sure you download the app.
And
All
before
right.
we get to the food, I just wanted to mention there is the attire and the theming of the restaurants or what the food is varies by day. Obviously, on the days you're in port, it tends to be more casual. They do have on the longer cruises, like the 7 days, you'll have 2 formal nights. Then they have themed, like we had a Caribbean night, we had a wear white night, we had a wear your floral, even though it was Caribbean was like dress with an island twist. White was obviously wear white. Then the formals were break out your best look kind of thing. So,
But
Yeah.
important,
And that,
I was going to say, they're not like it used to be years ago, where on formal night, you would see guys wearing a tuxedo or a really nice 3-piece suit. Those days are long gone. I basically went in, I wore a sport coat, and that was it. No, I didn't even wear a tie.
yeah, you didn't wear a tie because the shirt you did something to your shirt. You got
I
something.
will.
on.
Okay. To add on to that, Mike, I kind of agree with you. But I will stress again, it depends on which cruise lines you're going.
That's true.
That is true.
On
If
Royal
you're
Caribbean,
talking-
we found
If
people
you're
dressed.
talking celebrity,
Yeah.
if you're talking celebrity, if you're talking Viking, if you're talking
Yes.
some of these other ones, you will have formal nights where you'll have to be. But like you said, it doesn't have to be a tuxedo. It can be a 3-piece dress suit,
Right.
or it may be a semi-casual where it can be a dress shirt, sports coat. So some of the cruise lines do have those formal nights. You just have to be aware of it before you embark on a thing.
Right,
Make sure
exactly.
you got the look.
And
Just
you
make
can
sure you know what you got going into
you
it.
can print out for Royal Caribbean. I printed out the attire requirements, and so I could plan ahead of time. So,
Okay.
and Paul
This
has
is-
a question on the Wi-Fi.
I will tell you this on the Wi-Fi. Yes, they do have Wi-Fi. Some of the ships' Wi-Fi's have been getting better. I've had different days. Do you have to pay for it? Yes. Now I will let Mike in, since you guys said you used the Wi-Fi, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So the Wi-Fi.
I'll let you guys explain what it was like with the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so we got basically, and this was very interesting with the Icon. So I priced it out, one device for Jill, one device for me, and then I priced it out only for me for 2 devices, and it was cheaper by about $100 for me to do it that way. So all I had to do was add Jill to my plan, and we were back to 1 device for each of us. Now, for that, it was about $270 for the week, having her laptop and my phone on Wi-Fi whenever we were on the ship. And I would say that we never had an issue, whether we were cruising out at sea or in port. It was always great. Now with my phone, because I have a newer phone, I switched it over to calling over Wi-Fi. And so I was able to call our daughters back here in Vegas, and they would never know we were on a ship, and except for the fact that they knew we were on a ship.
Right.
Because the calls were crystal clear. They were no issues whatsoever. As far as streaming or doing anything, it wasn't an issue. One of the people we were traveling with was streaming, and he did not have an
Well, you
issue.
paid for a more expensive package, though.
I don't know.
I think so. I think if you want to stream from the ships, you usually need to do their higher end packages.
Well, I
But
know,
for us, we were on vacation, so we didn't plan on parking ourselves on the internet and stuff. So it was fine for me to have my laptop and him to have his phone access it. So
I will say it does depend on what package you do get will depend, because most of these ships, if you get a certain package, you can download the news, download movies, connect to email, connect to the internet, and it varies from cruise lines to cruise line as what it costs. But yeah, I would say most of the time your Wi-Fi's are pretty decent on ship.
now the ship did have channels that you could watch for like news.
No, I'm going to tell you
No,
that.
ours did.
To
You
use
could.
the app on, oh, no. To use the app on the ship, that does
No.
not.
For
Physically,
TV.
physically on the TV, Dave, physically on the TV. So you could go onto the TV and access different channels
Right.
and different, I think there were some movies. It's limited, of course. It's not like having your phone, but
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
no, he was talking about the app.
Yeah.
This is what I saw. No,
Yeah.
there is no charge to use the app on the ship.
Right.
No.
The app.
That
The
I
app
see.
gives you the option of whenever you bring it up, it'll ask you, are you on board or are you on land? And normally when you're using it at home, of course, you're on land. But once you get on board, you do have free internet access, but it's basic for the app for everything that's going on board the ship. So you do not have to pay if all you want is to access the app while you're on the ship for all the activities. That's going to be free for the entire time.
And there are some, again, and this is just to expand on some of the other cruise lines. Some of these apps will actually let you do certain orders, which will not cost you. It's free on the apps that will actually, and I'm thinking more MSC when I was talking this is why you really want to make sure you got the apps, depending on which cruise lines it is, because there are certain things that it'll let you do on the apps and it don't cost you.
Right. Yeah, they used basically in the old days, you would get like a newsletter in your cabin every day from your cabin steward. Now it's all on the app. So everybody has a smartphone. It's free to be on their plan while you're on the ship to get, basically you can make reservations. As Dave said, for specialty restaurants, you can make show reservations for the different shows that they have on board. And you can do that whether you have an internet plan or not. The internet plan is what's going to get you outside of the ship. And it does go out over satellite.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay.
So food.
Oh, let's get to everybody's favorite topic. I know
Yes.
Debbie's ready. She's ready.
Yeah.
To
And as I said, I got all the menus in front of me, so I can tell you highlights of
I'm going to bring it up because we were talking food, so we got into there. But
yeah.
Again.
No, we want to completely answer Paul and
Great
Stephanie's
question
question.
from Paul about Wi-Fi.
Yeah, because we want to get them on a
I've had
cruise.
people asking me about,
Yeah.
well, what about Wi-Fi? Well, yes, there's some costs, but look at some of the things that you can do because, like I said, I know MSC, their app, it allows you to play games. Some of them allow you to actually go on there and use the app to gamble. And you can be sitting in your, and you're actually making money on the MSC's app, and you could be gambling like if you were sitting at the blackjack table or at the slots, and you'd still be making money.
So Paul's got another question. Can we use the app to do planned excursions from the ship?
Yes. Most of the excursions you're going to want to book after you've made your final payment when it opens up. A lot of the popular excursions will fill up long before you get on board. So
yeah. And here's my thing about that. I'm going to tell you as a travel agent, yeah, you can do that with the app, but to be honest, truthfully, my recommendation as a travel agent, so that you get the best information, talk to your travel agent if you know exactly what excursions you are looking at, because they can work with the cruise lines to book that excursion. Or once you get on ship, go see your concierge to book them, because the app doesn't always catch up with whether that excursion is full or not.
Right.
And I will tell you.
And they have a dedicated area behind that
Yeah.
pearl that we showed you where they are doing the excursions. They had 3 different people helping.
But with Royal, most of the excursions, not all of them, but most of them were discounted if you booked it up to 72 hours before embarkation.
There you go. It's the discounts that you can get.
Right.
No, I'm not saying you need to plan your excursions prior to boarding, Paul. You can actually, what I'm saying is sometimes you can get better discounts planning,
Yes.
working with your travel agent, working through the cruise lines to get discounts on those excursions. But my thing is that you can still get some of decent benefits by talking to the concierge on board. Because one, the app won't always tell you, you may try to go book it and it may not always tell you that it's booked.
Right.
Right.
Unfortunately, the apps are not the best.
Also, Dave, there were discounts offered to us for the Wi-Fi packages. There were discounts offered to us for the beverage package.
Beverage pack, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. And you can, as a travel agent, I can tell you that this is what they will charge you for, because everything is listed. Because of a new law in California, and you guys probably aware of it, now that all cruise lines are pretty much going to a California law where in California, they said all the taxes, everything has to be pretty much listed up front.
Right.
Full
When
disclosure.
you're booking, and Royal Caribbean and Carnival were two of the first ones to actually start doing that as far as listing the total taxes and everything like that. But again, see, you can either find that so the basic plan is this. If you know what you want to do, I would suggest booking it with your agent and the cruise lines to get the best deals you can, or go directly to like Jill said, go to the concierge or whatever their information desks are to see what's available.
Right.
And the other thing I want to point out, especially if you're a first-time cruiser, but really anybody, stick with the excursions the ship has to offer. Don't go off on your own. Don't let somebody say, well, hey, come with the taxi or whatever, and we'll take you around. It could be more tempting, but the thing is these ships have been known to leave people behind. But if you're on a ship-sponsored excursion, they know where you are, and they are responsible, and they will get you back. So,
well, they will also notify the ship that the excursion was running late.
Right.
For some reason, if something happened and you guys were getting back late, they would notify the cruise lines to say.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if for
Now-
some reason you end up missing the ship, they will
Yeah.
get you to the next port.
Now,
so-
prime example,
yeah.
in Roatan, they were tearing up the street that goes to and from the port, and it was literally a one-way, where they had the cops out there, and we were sitting on the bus for 15 minutes waiting so they would let our side go so we could get back to the ship. Now, it wasn't an issue because we had plenty of time. We went on an earlier excursion, but it's the type of thing where the ship knows about this, and they're not going to leave a whole bus full of their passengers behind if they're 10 minutes out to get back to the ship.
Right.
So stick with the ship's excursions.
Or here's
Yeah.
the other thing I will bring up that kind of fits that, but as far as the incident you were talking about this, if you choose to say just go to the beaches at the port of calls, because there are some nice, beautiful areas where they have some beautiful beaches. If you do this, be aware of what time your ship is pulling out.
Yes.
You always, to me, I'm going to tell you, whether I'm a travel agent or not, I always say be back an hour before the ship is ready to leave port.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, just to let you know, we have been to many of these ports several times, although decades ago. So we only opted to do one excursion on this particular trip, which was to visit the one park where they had the monkeys and the sloths, and that was a phenomenal in Roatan. That was a
Oh, wait,
phenomenal.
you were at the high school Wait, you guys
I went
were
to
in
your
the
high
high school I
school?
work at?
No, I didn't. I did go to your high
'Cause
school.
there ain't nothing, they're nothing but a
although
bunch of sloths.
I can tell you, you walk in and the first thing they do is they give you a guinea pig to hold, which was fun. And then we went through, and the next thing we saw were the sloths, and they actually put the sloths on you, where they hang around your neck. You're not supposed
Oh,
to pet
nice.
them because they're very sensitive because of their eyesight, but they hang, and then you can actually feed them. So that was amazing. And then we went into the monkeys, and the monkeys jump off your head. They tell you the monkeys are going to do whatever the monkeys want to do. So make sure you're not wearing anything that you can't afford to lose, because they will steal your earrings. They'll steal your hats.
Yeah, my hat.
Yes, they tried to steal his hat. One gal had her hair clip was taken out of her hair and stolen. So it's that was an adventure there. So that was a very worthwhile excursion. So, and then of course in each of the ports they have the little shopping areas. So we went out, and saw that. So
Yes, and be careful of what you're buying, because there's some things that you cannot bring back aboard ship.
correct.
Yes.
Other things,
Right.
there are some things that you may have to pay an import fee on to bring back aboard.
Right.
And
Now
of
this
course,
cruise
like
ships,
shirts,
yeah.
normally
The cruise,
things like shirts and things like that, you just
not a
You
problem.
just declare it,
Yeah.
and you do. But like
But
if
the,
you're trying
the
to bring
cruise ship,
wine,
the cruise ship director will give you maps of where the shopping areas there are. They will recommend certain shops that they have working relationships with, where if there's a problem with your purchase, they will assist you. So
Can you bring back
just
food?
keep that in mind. Pardon me?
Can you bring back food on the back of the ship?
Certain foods, yes, you can. You can bring back if they're sealed.
Now,
So
if you buy booze, they will take it from you when you get back on, and they will give it back to you when the night before you disembark.
now, and be aware of this, it's certain type of booze.
Right.
There's certain type of booze you cannot bring back aboard. I don't know why, but it just depends on.
yeah,
Now, I think that might have to do with depending on what port of call you're going to. But there are some things you can't, like I said, there are some things you cannot bring back aboard. There
Right.
are some things that you actually going to have to pay a little bit of a tax fee on. And then of course there's the
the
things
duty
that you
tax.
buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
And
can
then
bring
there-
back like souvenirs and stuff like that, like from the
Yes.
shop.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
and
bought.
then-
Yeah, definitely. I bought a bag that had a sloth on it in Roatan. And I think that was the only thing I pretty much purchased. So, because as I said, I've been there to some of these so many times that I kind of am familiar with what's
Yeah,
there.
like when we were in Cozumel and we were in the shopping area, it's like walking the gauntlet. And everybody is like, senorita, come see us.
Yes. Yeah. So you have to be aware that it's better to shop with other people. Safety in
Yeah.
numbers. Yes.
So,
Okay,
Okay.
so on to the food. We keep trying to
Onto
get
the food. But I just want to make sure, because I know Paul and them have been thinking about cruises, and
yes.
I just want them to hear from everybody. That's why I'm bringing these guys on, so that when you guys
Right.
are ready to, I know you guys are going to use me, Paul. So when you guys are ready to sit down, you guys will at least have your full head of
Right.
a lot of knowledge, and I will definitely answer more questions.
And if you
like
have
I
any
said,
other questions, Paul, Mike and I are always free to answer anything you have.
yes.
So,
But now let's get to everybody's favorite.
everybody's
Yeah.
favorite topic, food.
Because I will admit, some of these things, there were some things I'm like, I wouldn't try, but there's a couple of them that I'm like,
That you're like, yeah,
I might have to try this.
yeah. Well, I'm not a big spicy
Okay,
person.
so this is in the Windjammer, and this is
The
actually
buffet.
in the buffet area, deck 15. And this is a carving that they do out of fruit.
So this is some of the decorations that they have on the different sections of the buffet that I thought were super cute.
Now let me actually, Jill, you were saying something about spicy food because, because you do. That's the one thing you do have to watch about some things, because some of these cruise lines, they do tend to have some spicy food. So
Right.
is that
Well,
what you were saying?
Well, if you're allergic to anything, right off the bat, they'll ask you, do you have any allergies? Is there anything we need to be aware of? Okay. And I told him, I said, I don't have an allergy, but I am very sensitive to, for example, I can no longer eat French onion soup because I have a sensitivity to the quantity of onions in my food. But the ship has a fantastic French onion soup, and I missed out, and I felt sad because I used to love my French onion soup. But they will ask you if you're allergic to anything, if you have a sensitivity to anything, so that they note that right off the bat. Okay. I can't tolerate spicy. I just don't. I'm not an honorary Mexican, so I do not eat a lot of spicy. The Indian foods, for example, as I said, every night at dinner they had a specialty Indian dish. Indian foods can be spicy, so I tended not to try those. But you know, they will tell you. They will let you know if you tell them, well, I'm sensitive to certain spices. They'll make sure that you're aware of what things are in each food item. So,
and again, whether you, and I will tell you this, whether you book through a travel agent or whether you do it yourself, at times some cruise lines will let you actually put that information somewhere between the time you do your first booking and thing. You can actually download that information and give that to them prior ahead. If
Right.
not, the recommendation would be as soon as you go to your first dining, you should tell
Let
them,
them know.
or go to the information desk and talk to them and
Right.
and let them know that, look, I have special dietary needs. What do I need to do and ask them about it, and they will walk you through on what you need. Which is basically let them know, and then they will pass it to the people
Right.
that they need.
Now, in addition, if you have any certain requirements that you need in your cabin, medically wise, you let them know in advance and it will be there. For example, hubby here, it needs a CPAP. So he needs distilled water. So they provided us with the distilled water the entire trip. So things of that sort.
Well, that's good to know. Oh, man, that's good to know. I didn't, because there's some things they won't provide, but there are some things that they will.
Yeah, both Disney and Royal will do that for you.
I think most cruise lines.
Probably most
will.
cruise lines these days. CPAPs are more common, so a lot of them probably do that.
They probably do it now, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the next
Okay.
picture, and that's a different angle.
This
or another design.
is a different artistic. So you see the little monkey guy off to the side here, and here's what did they carve this out of bread?
Yes, this was out of bread.
This bird that you see was carved out of bread.
Oh,
So
there
it's
you go.
Yeah, just to show you that there's the decor on the ship. Oh, yeah, so he uses a CPAP too. Yes, definitely, Paul. Make sure you put that in your request in advance for special needs.
Yes, and we had a gallon of distilled water waiting for me in the cabin.
And you can do that when you're booking. Those
Yes.
are some of the things that you can actually request
Correct.
at the time you book your cruise, Paul.
Right. So yeah, so throughout the buffet, they have these little decor items that they've actually made out of food. So
Yes.
it's quite cute. And Royal Caribbean too, when you go to the buffet, they have this cute little guy that stands out there near the wash stations. They have wash stations before you enter the buffet. They request that you wash your hands. And there's a guy that sings a cute little washy tune. He'll have different music playing, and he'll sing to that music, the washy tune.
Oh, I don't know about that. I might have to put a trash can over.
It's
I
funny.
might have to put a trash can over him on that one.
No, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
What? That came from Mike again. I just got the message.
Oh, troublemaker. Okay.
No. Anyways.
On to the next one.
Hey, we got to have a little fun,
Yes, we do.
Oh,
All right.
See,
So
this was one of the things
this-
I was looking at. This looks good.
This
Surf
was
and turf.
Surf and turf. This was the first at sea night. So the first quote formal night, lobster tail with steak.
Yes, it was, the menu title was Dine Like an Icon. So I selected the main lobster tail, and I added the what this was the roasted beef tenderloin.
We got the roasted beef tenderloin and added the lobster tail.
Yeah, either one. We did. You were allowed to get.
And there was no extra charge for
No.
this. And this is in the main dining room.
Well, they have for Maine lobster tail. They have 2 nights that have it,
Yes.
and on the other nights you can add it for an extra charge. But on this particular night, they had it as one of the entrees. So I decided to do surf and turf, and so there's my roasted beef tenderloin and my Maine lobster tail.
Where it was mine.
Yeah,
And I
you
got
had
the same
had
thing.
the French onion soup, I think,
Yes.
as the appetizer, and I had escargot because I ate escargot every minute I could get it. And then the dessert was warm apple cobbler. So that's what we had. And they do have
wow.
vegan. They do have vegan options, by the way.
Yes. Again, those are some of the, again, when it comes to dietary needs, whether it's a vegan dietary or, you got, you have to watch it because of blood sugar type diets and things like that. Again, these are things that you all can let them know ahead of time, or sometimes you even have to let them know the waiter the first night you're there to go, I got this type of thing, and they will mark it down and make sure that you get the right one.
Right. Now,
But
each
that's why I
night,
was-
yeah, each night on the icon, they brought you as a starter a cheese and what else?
Crackers.
Crackers plate. So you could nibble on your cheese and crackers,
And
then of course,
vegetables.
and then vegetables, raw vegetables, and then they also brought you, of course, the bread.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this about the dining things. I have no problem with the dining issues, because when I went on the 4-day, 3-night cruise that I went on, I think we did the dining the first night, and I'm gonna tell you, and this was several years ago, so things probably have improved. This was, and it wasn't it was that short thing for being a first-time cruiser thing. And I will tell you, I got more food out of the buffet and my 24/7 pizza. And even then, because they had guy fry on there, and then they had like a sushi, you could actually get rolls, different types of sushi, salads, because they had another special, like, you got to remember, the Elation is a very small ship.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. It's one of the earlier cruise ships for Carnival. But again, you still had a good full buffet because you could get ribs, pork chops, roast, different types of vegetables, food, fries, things like that, a different good day buffet. But then you had Guy Fries, which was open from like 11 a.m. till maybe 6, about when just before the evening dining services start. But then they had the buffet area again, like we said, like, you don't always have to use the dining. You got the buffet, which sometimes offers better food than what the dining does. I mean, for me, when you got the girly figure like I do around the belly, you gotta have the food.
I would say this: if you look at the dining menu on one of these, the specialty nights, and you don't like it in the dining room, you certainly have wonderful choices in the buffet.
Yes.
Okay. Or again, you can do a specialty restaurant on that night.
Yep.
So lots of choices.
Yes.
So this, Michael, I think this was your chicken parmesan.
Yeah, this was chicken.
So
parm.
the next night was a taste of Italy. So Michael got the chicken parmesan. I opted, and I think the next picture is what I got. I got the creamy mushroom risotto and added, because I wanted to get some meat, I got the New York strip steak with it. So that's what we had. Let's see, they have, so of course they had selections like, let's see, what else they have here. For desserts, they have a lemon curd tartlet. I think I got that. They had tiramisu. So the traditional, what I call Italian food. But his chicken parmesan, he said, was quite good.
Yes.
Debbie, if you don't, you got to quit yapping too much. You're just making too much noise down on the bottom
She's
screen.
enjoying it.
I gotta get her involved somehow. She's been too quiet.
Yes.
You do feel free do feel free to comment if you like some of these pictures and see what.
Well, stuff looks good, but it's like a lot of stuff that I don't eat.
Well, they do have,
I
as
mean,
I said,
I'll eat the steak, but I
each
won't eat
night-
the lobster. I'll eat
each night they do have a salad.
I'll eat the chicken, but
so-
without the cheese.
Yeah, you could pick and choose. And if it said, if you looked at the dining menu and you didn't like anything on it, you go to the buffet where you can pick and choose even more, so there.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, Paul is probably doing more talking in the chat than
Exactly,
Debbie is
Paul.
doing.
Thank you, Paul. I'm taking it all and thank you.
Yeah, he's definitely doing more talking.
I know. I just like
All
my guests. I do like my guests to comment once in a while to make sure they're still, so they're not frozen.
Right. So I don't think we have any
Mikey,
pictures of
who's
the
carving
Caribbean food.
Starbucks.
So the next night, I don't think we have pictures of was the Taste of the Caribbean.
Oh,
I did shrimp and more shrimp. I did garlic herb buttered tiger shrimp. I did the crispy coconut jumbo shrimp. I forgot what you did, Michael, on here. Oh, you did the eggplant probably.
No.
No? What'd you do on there?
What was the choices? I did.
Did you do the shrimp too?
I think I did the shrimp
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So they have just wonderful choices every night.
anyway, so what do we got here?
Oh, there's the risotto.
Oh, here's what I talked about with the steak and the
Okay.
risotto. So risotto is obviously the far
Right.
plate, and then here's the steak in the front. So they're willing to work with you and give you more than one entree, that kind of stuff. Now the difference between Disney and the Icon is Disney, when you go on Disney, at least when on the Wish, if you ate something the first night that you absolutely loved, you have the same servers that follow you from room to room. And of course, you have the same servers on the Icon too. But on Disney, you can actually tell them in advance that night, the next night, that I loved that from the prior night and I want it again. Can you get it for me? And they will.
Oh, okay. That's good
Okay.
to know.
So that's a unique thing for Disney.
Yes,
So-
that is a good thing to know.
Yeah. Now the next night for our dinner, we had a taste of Mexico.
Oh, this is the dessert.
Oh, there's a dessert. Now, do you remember what that was, Michael? That looks like it's a tart.
That is a tart. I think that was the lemon tart.
That's the lemon tart, and they put a piece of chocolate on top of it. That's what that
That's
is.
my kind of thing. Yay.
Yeah, there you go. Wonderful desserts, Debbie. Wonderful desserts.
Anyway,
So-
so go back. So okay, withstanding the dessert aside, so what did you have the next night after the escargot, whatever that stuff was?
You're talking about the Taste of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. What did I have for dessert? I had, I'm trying to think here what I had. What did I have? The royal chocolate cake. I think that was probably it because I'm a
Yeah.
chocolate person.
And I think I just had
You
ice
had
cream.
you had ice cream. Oh yes, they do have vegan ice cream. And so we had a friend who loved their chocolate vegan ice cream. She would get it every night.
Oh, that's the one thing I loved on the Carnival. You're talking desserts. Oh man, do I?
Yeah, the desserts are.
I don't know about you, Paul,
Yeah.
but I like it. I like the ice cream, and then you go around the bar because I know with the elation you could get gummy drops, candy corn, certain other things, the hot fudge on top of it. I mean, you're talking about making a mountain sundae out of it. That was my favorite.
Right now, and the next night they had a taste of Mexico. I think that's
That's
the
the
one
night we went. to
we went.
Chops.
That's when we went to Chops, and I think you do have a
Yeah,
picture
the
of
rack of
the
lamb.
rack of lamb from Chops.
Okay, let me see.
I think that's probably the next
There it is.
right there. See that
is-
rack
that's
of lamb?
the rack of lamb.
That
Joe
I
and
would
both-
like. That I would like.
Yes, it was very good. So
Love
we
that.
had
Thank you, Paul. Agreed.
I think we had an appetizer that was like shrimp or something, and
Yeah,
then we
and
had
salad,
the rack and a salad, and
Caesar
we had
salad, the
yeah,
rack of lamb.
$35 for everything, because of course we, as I said, made a deal
Yeah,
with them.
and
for
I
half.
know you wouldn't do that. Not on Chops, especially on the Icon.
No,
You're right.
well,
You're
the
going-
chops is normally $70 a person, but because they had availabilities, they were coming into different places on that same level and basically negotiating with you. And so our friends negotiated down to 35 a person.
which is not bad. That's actually
No, that's
so we
not
figured
bad.
for that
That's really-
it was worth going.
Yeah, and the rack of lamb was not something that was offered anywhere on the ship at any other time. So we opted for the rack of lamb. And then I had some kind of fancy chocolate dessert, I think, for dessert after this.
Well, and this is what and here's my thing about, we're talking about food. This is the one thing that you have to really be aware of when it goes on the cruise lines. Because some of these cruise lines, they're like I'm going to say celebrity. Those are more people that are looking extremely luxury type cruises.
Right.
Celebrity, princess, things like that, where your food, and I'm not lying, guys, the food, you're lucky if the food is about the size square of what I'm making right here. Not much.
Yeah. Now, Paul said the toppings make the ice cream. Now there is, I know that in the buffet, they had different ice creams and there were lots of different toppings. I'm sure we didn't make it into Sprinkles, which was the ice cream shop, but I'm sure you could have gone crazy in that ice cream shop.
They probably would have had to wheel me out in a barrel.
Yeah. So then they had the night, the last night, I think was, or the next to last night was the Royal Night. The Royal Night is the one where they do the baked Alaska. So I think I opted. I don't think we didn't have any pictures of that.
No, you didn't have that.
I opted for
was
the
last one on that one.
I think I did Maine lobster tail again because this is the second night that they do the lobster tail. And how often can I get lobster tail for free? In essence.
Oh, you can.
So yeah, so I did the lobster tail. I remember I did escargot again because I don't ever get that usually. And then of course the baked Alaska for the dessert. And I might have done the red velvet cake because I love my red velvet.
Red velvet. Oh,
Yeah. So that, as I said, the food is incredible. It's just, and you have, if you don't like the dining room menu, you go to the buffet, you get what you want at the buffet, or you go to the deli and you get your roast beef sandwich, or you go to all these different options that you have.
right.
So,
And if you want to specialize it up, like you said, the specialty restaurant.
Right.
Obviously there's a nominal fee to go to these. And obviously, I will tell you, here's the other thing about this, Paul, too. When you and Stephanie think about when you do go to a specialty, make sure that you definitely get the reservations, because you got some cruise lines that some of these restaurants fill fast.
Yes.
Because they're
Yes.
that good.
yes. So if there's something you have your eye on in particular and you don't mind the price, that's the normal price, you book it. Okay. You can always what?
What night was the baked Alaska?
Oh, that was Thursday night, right, Michael?
What? The formal? Yes.
Yeah, that was Thursday night on our cruise. So it was the second formal night.
Both of those were at Sea Days.
Okay, so Paul, I can tell you, in order to get the baked Alaska, you probably will have to go on a 7-day cruise. They don't normally have that, I think, on the shorter cruises because you don't have the formal nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And again, I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know if that's something you get on Disney, even on a 7.
Yeah, I'm not
Obviously,
sure.
we did the 3.
Well, that's true because on Disney, of course, they have the theming. At least
Right.
on the Treasure, they have the 3 themed restaurants.
Well, yeah,
Well-
because the restaurants, the dining for those restaurants are usually interactive.
Right.
So yeah, they're usually baked to the theme to
Whatever
they serve is usually baked to whatever the theme of that is.
Right. So they probably, I'm going to guess on Disney, at least on the Treasure, they do not have baked Alaska.
And probably not on the Wish if they're doing a 7.
Yeah. Because
each
of the theming.
restaurant is themed, and it's probably fairly consistent.
Yes, you have the same food. Like when we were going on the Treasure, we're going to have 2 nights in each restaurant, and then one of the restaurants is going to be 3 nights. So we will have to pick and choose our favorites from the other restaurants and see if we can bring them in to kind of beef up our choices. So
Anyway.
Paul, do you have any other questions?
But that, in a nutshell, is the icon.
Well, not even in a nutshell.
Yeah.
We went 2 hours and 21 minutes, give or take the starting delay.
Right. But still, I mean, you talked about the entertainment, which you really, obviously you couldn't take no pictures of the entertainment, but
No.
that, you
Well, to
can't
give
say,
you an idea of the entertainment, Dave, the first night we were on, they had a comedian. So we went to the comedian. On Sunday night, we did,
No, we did the first night.
that was Saturday,
Saturday night.
this one. That's what we did.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
On Sunday,
And-
we did the Starburst Element of Beauty, which was the ice skating show. That was phenomenal. On Monday, we did the Wizard of Oz, which was based more on what I call, maybe that was more like
The
Oz,
Wiz, yeah.
or the Wiz rather. I think that was closer to the Wiz, although I've never
Nice.
seen the Wiz.
Yeah, those.
Yeah. Tuesday, we did the Aqua Action, which was the incredible water show with all the divers and all the athletes.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, Wednesday.
that's a high dive that they do
Yeah.
too.
Now Wednesday, I don't think we did a show, but on Tuesday night, just to tell you, they had a one-hit wonder street party. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the Royal Promenade, the cruise staff literally came out and sang every one-hit wonder song,
Nice.
including Ghostbusters. And they had a full-blown Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That was probably about 3 stories in height.
That was incredible, that party.
Was it
and then
made was it real marshmallow? Because I would have,
No, not
been
no.
jumping
It
on
was
them and eating.
It was a blow up.
Oh,
Okay.
should have
They
made
had-
a real marshmallow. I would have
Right.
eaten it all.
And then on Wednesday, we did that. That was the Ships Ahoy parade where they had all kinds of floats going down the promenade with people singing and stuff. Thursday, we went to something called the Effectors, the Origin Story, which was interesting. It was some kind of Marvel offshoot, is what I want to call it. And then the last night, we went to adult comedy, and there were 3 different comedians, one of which was the guy from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And they
And
were.
go ahead.
And so anyway, so that's the shows and things that we saw. So those were all incredible.
And I will tell you this, when it comes to most of those shows are pretty good, but I will tell you with the comedy line, because I know I did a couple of different, I did one night I did an adult entertainment, and
He's got comment.
you really trust me. You be careful. Make sure you know what the show is, and especially if it's after 10 p.m. because usually after 10 p.m. that's when the adult only shows really
Yes.
take place.
Right.
Yes.
On any of the cruise lines.
Yes. Obviously, the comedian the first
Yes,
night that we saw
really.
earlier was a little bit more tame. He was more of a magician comedian.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the adult comedy that we saw on the last night, which was at 10:45, those 3
Raw.
guys were a little bit more.
Raw.
Now, the interesting thing is that the age limit was 16 and above.
Okay, so they couldn't be too raw.
No, it says 18
Because-
and above.
Oh, 18 and above.
18 and
Oh,
above.
well then they
Yeah.
could be raw.
Okay.
They could be raw
Yeah.
because
They were very raw.
Yes, trust me.
Yeah, they were very raw. Now, one thing I also want to tell you about the Icon, which makes it unique, is they have a mascot dog. They have, what was the dog's name? Rover?
Rover.
Rover.
Yeah, Rover.
Okay, so
Oh, don't
they
tell
have
Mike. He might try to kidnap it.
no, Rover is a 1-year-old,
Irish setter.
was he
No.
a Labrador? I think he
Yeah.
was a Labrador. So they have him.
I might try to kidnap it.
Yeah, no, he was very cute, and he was there at the end of the One Night Wonder.
Yeah.
They had him up there.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah.
They
'cause
have a
that's-
statue. They have a statue of Rover doing
that
his
actually,
business.
I will
Did you
say
see
the
that?
Icon is the only ship that actually has a pet.
They plan on it for the
Wonderful.
Star of the Seas. It's a new thing now.
Okay.
okay.
So that might be something they're starting.
Yeah, and so also I think the ships are starting to have veterinarians on them now because so many people have the service dogs.
It is because I know the only cruise line that really that actually allows you to have animals on board is Canard. And Canard
Okay.
actually has I know this from all the training I've done, the only ones that allow you to actually have is Canard because they actually have a kennel for
Right.
dogs and cats.
Right.
And I'm not talking service dogs.
Yeah.
I'm talking, and even
Not
then,
travel
it's-
pets.
right? It's
Yeah.
and not even a travel pet. They're just you can bring your pets,
Yeah.
And even then, it's only for their transatlantic cruises
Right.
from
Yeah.
like England to the U.S.
Yeah, people don't want to be away from their pets that long. So,
Right. And
but I can also tell you that the icon, the interesting thing of the icon is there were metal statues kind of all over the place in different places. Like there was a guy that was coming out of the floor in one spot. There was a person or a person, and somebody thought it was a real person, tried to talk to them and then realized it was a statue. And, you know, so there are all kinds of little, and then some of the windows are there on the fifth deck for the Royal Promenade. They were actually interactive windows where they have changing scenes.
Nice.
So,
And see, a lot of things are going to do. A lot of ships are going to that, where there's interactive things like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you could see it on MSC. It sounds like Icon's going that way. You know, and you know, Disney's they've already had things that were interactive for the family or at least the kids, you know, around the ship. So a lot of these cruise lines are starting to go to that type of, you know, and it enhances the experiences of the cruises, which is I find amazing.
yeah. So as I said, Icon to me, I mean, if they're having a deal, definitely no brainer for us. But we're looking forward to doing the Star, see if we can do the Star and see what the difference is.
Yeah, because they say there's going to be a little bit, but not much of a difference.
Right.
It's the
But
same.
I think they're adding more certain type of restaurants to the Stars. I think is what's his name actually said when we had him on the as a guest.
Right.
Yeah, the Star supposedly is going to have slightly less passenger capacity, but I think that they're going to have more, like you said, restaurants,
specialty restaurants, and things like that.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how that differs from the Icon.
Yes, I really is. I mean, honestly, guys, I'm impressed with the Icon. And like I said, I've seen pictures of it, but to actually seen people, and I know actually, and I will. Everybody knows who. If everybody knows who Yachty is she actually went on the main voyage of the Icon, and she did some good videos of it as well.
Yeah.
But again, you know, videos and pictures, as beautiful as they are, to hear it from the experiences, people that have actually been on it, along with the pictures, I don't know. I mean, to me, Icon is one of my two now to top of the to-do list.
Yeah. Well, I find that's true. Even when you go to Disney, Dave, to give you an example, we've watched the fireworks spectacular at MK on the streams. There's no comparison to seeing it in person. So that's the same thing with even though you can watch the videos of the cruise ships, there's no comparison to, you know, when you actually get on it.
Right. And here's what I say about this. And I know I've had conversations with a lot of people. And that's why I kind of pulled away from doing, you know, except for talking about the cruise lines, kind of why I've stepped away from doing Disney stuff. The problem is the company is driving it into the ground. You know, their prices are getting outrageous. And I'm not, and I can book Disney, and I would recommend Disney to anybody, and I would do it. But I have found myself growing more towards the cruise lines, including Disney cruise lines, because I love what Disney's doing with the cruise ships.
Yes, if as I said, for me, Walt Disney World, my favorite place is Epcot. There is no Epcot anywhere else.
Me too.
So I've got Disneyland closer to me. That's comparable to MK. Hollywood Studios, California Adventure out in Disneyland is similar. You know, Animal Kingdom, I love it, but I've got the San Diego Zoo not that far from me, and that's kind of the Animal Safari Park is kind of what he based it on. So to me, Epcot is the truly unique experience
Yes.
for us. And I
Well,
like,
and again,
So-
it's like that goes back to what you're wanting to discover and do. I mean,
right,
honestly, if you want the fantasy and the true imagination, the
right.
Magic Kingdom is where it's at.
That's
Right.
true. Yes.
If you're looking for the experience of discovering different cultures and exactly, Jonathan. I wish I had her link, but
I was
and
going
I
to
don't-
say, has Yachty been around lately? Because I knew she
I
was
have
sick for a
not.
while.
I have not
No,
seen
no,
Yachty
Yeah,
around.
she's been sick.
had
I
some-
don't know.
She's been actually having some
Yeah.
health issues, I think.
Yeah.
But I do recommend going to check out her videos.
Yeah, her
on the
videos
icon.
are definitely helpful.
They are good and they are
Yeah.
helpful. Like I said, but thank you, Jonathan, for jumping that in. And like I said, I give
There you
best
go.
to
Yep.
Yachty. See, Yachty
Yeah,
is a
Yachty
special
is
lady.
it. She's
She's a-
another cruise fanatic. So
Yes, and a special lady. She seems to. I mean, one of these days, I hope maybe I can run into her. We're doing a cruise.
And also Jennifer Caruso. Jennifer
Her
Caruso
too.
has
Her
been
too.
that's true. Jennifer goes on her. Matter of fact, the last cruise that Jennifer and her husband did was on the last Carnival cruise ship that we went on.
right.
We did a
So she's
3-dayer
another
on this.
avenue to check on and to
Yeah,
review her videos because they are
Right.
quite
right.
Yes, they are good.
Now Yachty actually lives not too far from you, Debbie.
yes. She
She lives in
Miami.
Hollandale Beach.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah,
So best wishes to her because I hope her
Yeah.
health is getting better. But yeah,
I
she
hope
hasn't-
so, too.
I have not seen her in a while.
I haven't either. I'm just
In
hoping
fact,
for the
that's
best.
when we learned when we went to Hollandale.
When we went to
Beach,
Hollandale Beach,
we would have been better off flying into
Fort Lauderdale, exactly.
But I don't know, guys. It's been fun. I mean, I enjoyed the pictures, and I'm glad we were able to pull them together, and I was able to switch them around.
Yes,
It helps when your technology is working right.
yes.
Yep.
When
You
you're
know-
not working with a cracked screen, it does work better. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
big time. And of course, we definitely look forward to having you guys back on when you do the treasure.
Right.
Obviously, guys, because I'm going to tell you, you're talking about 4 weeks until it's maiden voyage. Give her 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
December
It's maiden voyage, so
21st.
it's
21st. Yeah, I think it's 21st.
and honestly, it was. I don't know anybody. I also encourage you to go check out the videos of its christening. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful show that they did for the christening of the.
Well, I know it's been in Port Canaveral now for a couple of weeks.
Right, but they actually had the.
Well, actually, it went to
christening.
Nassau.
Oh, went to Nassau.
Went to Nassau, and then I saw something on the internet today about it being in New York. Is that right?
If it was, it's been in Port Canaveral now for a couple of weeks at least.
I thought it was, but I think it went to Nassau originally.
Well,
So I
it did some sea trials all over the place, and I think it
Right.
did stop a few places. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you where it all stopped, so
Yeah,
you could be right about that.
and
Jill.
And I think based on what they did with the Wish, they're taking families
Family,
of the
yeah.
people that worked on it on like 3-day cruises,
Yes.
4-day cruises.
yeah. These quick little jaunts are for the
Richard.
family.
Now
Yeah.
you make it in, Richard.
Bloom and Shiza. Oh, there he
Hi,
is
There,
Richard.
at the very
there's
end,
Richard.
and only because we've been on for 2 hours, Richard.
Yes.
Yes, we are actually. This is actually one of the best shows we've had on this, and it was good information. I mean, obviously, I know Paul and Stephanie are future cruisers because they've been wanting to go on a cruise. So hopefully, you were able to get a lot of good information, Paul and Stephanie, tonight. And this is just on the icon. Like I said, I'm looking to do Celebrity in a couple of weeks. I'm still working on trying to get Disney. I do know I got another one set for inside the new year.
Which cruise ship is that, or which cruise line?
Princess, I believe.
Oh, Princess. Okay.
So we're actually going to get to hear from Princess Cruise Line. So now we're going to get to hear from celebrity. So now now you're even getting to hear some of the upper tier cruise ships. So which makes it nice because you never know who watches the replays and all things like that. Well, I'm glad you did, Paul. And when you guys are ready to go on a cruise, please seriously reach out to me and we will get you the best deal and make sure you guys have the greatest time.
Yeah, I think you'll be hooked, Paul.
I'm hooked because I know next year, my birthday, I'm going on a 7-day cruise. So which one it'll be, I don't know because I've looked at Disney and I've looked at doing because there's a couple of Carnival ships I actually want to try and check out, like the Freedom out of Port Canaveral. So I don't know, but it'll most likely be a 7-day cruise for me.
Yeah, because you've been on them before.
And obviously I will definitely get a Wi-Fi. So I will definitely be doing some streams from going, see, cruising from the cruising. Then I can really cause trouble. I can really behave and Mama D can't do nothing.
You mean on the cruise ship?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is unless she's part of your group, if you take a group of people.
Could do that too. I would love. Interesting. You'll have to tell me about that one, Richard. Because some people like Princess, some people don't. Princess is one of those in the middle.
Yeah. My older daughter went on her honeymoon on Princess, and she liked it. That was out of Galveston doing the
there's a lot of mixture
Caribbean.
About Princess. There's a lot of mixture about Princess. I've heard some good things, and I've heard some, some people that have.
Maybe it depends on the ship.
It could be the ship. It could be their experiences. And it may be, it might be that maybe it was their first time and they just didn't have the right experience or people guiding them,
Oh, so Paul did go on one cruise years ago.
Well, maybe you can join me next Thursday, Richard, and we can talk about Princess
time for a skating review. Wow. I don't know if that sounds good. Do you want that, Dave? You probably do because people need to hear it.
Well, I want to hear the good things and the bad things about it.
Exactly.
And like I said, I think Princess is not until it's Celebrity I got coming up.
So you think the Princess is the January?
Right. I mean,
and then you'll probably have us the beginning of March because we go February 22nd. So
to March.
And I do know this about Richard. I will say this about Richard. He will be fair about it. He will say what he actually liked about it and say what he didn't particularly. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, that's what we want. We want honest reviews. That's how we fix things. That's how, I mean, right now I'm waiting to hear back from a cousin who wants, I actually am getting if they do it, I do know that I actually have an order. Somebody wants 5 adult tickets and two for 4-day park passes for the parks, which that'll be the biggest hit I've had yet.
Very nice.
Yes, and I know you will, Richard, but I also know you'll be fair about it too. Obviously we want a professional, but we want to hear the goods and the bads so that people can make an honest decision out of it.
Right.
That's why that's why I'm glad Jill and Mike. I mean, obviously, if you had any bad thing about it, I would want to hear about it so that, people can make an honest decision.
My only complaint about the Icon was one of the setups in the bathroom where the plug was. Being a short person, 5'1", I had to reach up.
Oh, Debbie's in trouble.
Yeah, I had to reach up to where the plug was.
Debbie's in trouble.
I would need a chef stool.
You have the plug up on the second level.
What you do is bring an extension cord, Debbie.
You can't.
I can't. No. Nope.
This
is where your cabin steward becomes your best friend when you're initially plugging in your stuff. Yes.
It's like, excuse me, here, right here.
I think I needed it for the hair dryer. I don't think otherwise I used much, Yeah, I tried to the mirror in the other room on top of the dresser and the plugs there were my best friends.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that was the only complaint I had. So that's not bad.
Well, and no, but see, that's something, and I'm not, I mean, I know we're picking on poor Debbie, but this is legitimately, now I'm trying to be realistic. These are things that people want to know about it. Even those short things, the proper placement of having enough outlets and things like that can make or break a trip. Believe it or not, when you're cruising, those simple functions can actually make or break a cruise trip.
The only time I had an issue was when I used the hair.
It's the
hair
small
dryer.
fine details.
Yeah. Only time I had an issue was using the hair dryer and using my water pick. So other than that, everything else plugged into the other, other location, fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. We're probably
Alrighty.
keeping poor Debbie up.
She had a nap before this, remember? Debbie had a nap, Dave. Debbie had a nap.
She's a night owl. I mean, when I was doing the insomniac things on Friday night, she would be one of the few people that we'd all be hanging around out here till 12:30 at night.
Yeah. I sleep when everybody's awake, and I'm awake when everybody's asleep.
Yeah, and you and me, we're that way too, because we get up usually around 10 in the morning, 10:30. We go to bed at 3:45.
That's Thanksgiving. That actually is Thanksgiving. I may do a special on. We may actually, if you can do it Wednesday, Richard. So it's not on actual Thanksgiving Day. I may do a special. So if you want to come and join us, Debbie.
Yeah, I should be back from my friends because I believe I'm going.
Well, I'm going to do it normal time, 6 p.m. So if you can make
I don't know if I will be home then. I don't know if I'll be home by then.
So what are we doing on Wednesday?
It'll be the cruise line show, but I just don't want to do it on Thursday, on Thanksgiving.
No, I don't blame you there.
Because I don't know where I'm going to be because I'll be in my new place. So I don't know if I'll actually be by myself that day or whether I'm going over to my cousin's, or I've been invited to some friend's house that might go over there. But then I also may just relax because I've got a special trip to Tallahassee on Friday and Saturday. So, and it's not for the Florida game, I can tell you that.
No, that was the one where we said if he was going to have a long weekend, we wouldn't see him on Tuesday, the following Tuesday.
That's right.
Yeah, I may be kidnapped.
Yeah. So a normal show on Tuesday, this coming one? Tuesday?
Yes. We're going to continue
MSC?
Probably. Yeah, actually I'm off as of tomorrow's my last day of work for a week because of Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm going to put the rest of that together. So I may do, no. We'll actually I might do 2 shows on the cruise lines.
Huh. Because you're trying to get Richard to come on and talk about Princess on Wednesday? Is that?
Yeah, we might do a 6 o'clock. You know what?
Okay.
I might just do 2 shows. We may just do a late night show, Debbie. You might be able to come hang out in this Amniacs and we'll talk cruising. Because I don't know about Joe and Mike. Well, no, seriously. For the adults, particularly adults that are in their 30s and 40s, the nightlife on a cruise ship is, a lot of people tend to sleep during the day or not wake up till late morning unless they're going into a port. But like on a sea day, they'll sleep till 10, 11 o'clock in the mornings. But yeah, they'll stay up till 1. I never went to, my earliest I went to bed was when I was on the Carnival Elation was 3 a.m. And then I was up and around to eat breakfast by 7:30.
I think we went to bed as late as 2.
Yeah.
So see, you're talking about night owls. See, you need to go on a cruise, Mama D. You can hang out with all the late night owls. And you'll see some interesting stuff happen. Trust me. You can, you got the boogie woogie disco dances and, the deck parties and things.
Karaoke.
Yes, karaoke.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It really
Yeah.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
And
Richard,
I do know.
so-
Let me ask you this, Joe. I believe they do have the dual. See, for me, I like classic piano and all that.
right, they have the dueling pianos bar. Now, we
There's
did
what
not
I
go in
tell
there.
you. I like the
Yeah.
dual. I love. That's one of the things. That is one
Yeah.
of the things I want to try is the dueling piano.
Yeah, they have a bar, dueling
It's
pianos
called dueling
bar,
pianos.
and that's where our muster station
That's where
was.
our muster station.
Our muster station was in the dueling pianos bar, but we did
Oh,
not go
nice.
into that bar at nighttime. We were usually with our friends, you know, basically had our schedule set. So we would eat dinner, and then we would at that point kind of hang out, go shopping, you know, because we were usually at sea, so we could do our shopping or whatever else, and then we would zoom into the shows. And then after the shows, we would go find a hangout to eat more food. That
There
was
you
kind of
go.
like the scenario there.
The 24/7 pizza.
Yeah. Well, we enjoyed some of the other foods too.
Anyways, but so yeah, I think so next Wednesday I think I'll do a double cruise line show, one at 6 and maybe one at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and finish up the MSC tour.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think we're pretty free on Wednesday. It's cooking day for some of our pre-cooking.
I will be making the candied yams and the cranberry apple chutney on Wednesday, and brining
And
the
brining
bird.
the turkey,
Brining the bird.
18-pound turkey.
Yep,
So,
yep, and I'll definitely have to see where we're going, what I'm
Yep.
doing, because I know Friday and Saturday I'm all busy.
yep.
Yep.
Now,
Nobody.
have you seen your girlfriend before? Is this your first
We've
time?
done no. It'll be the first time we're meeting face to face, but I've done
Ah.
video. We've done a lot of
Okay.
video chats. So
Okay.
you're welcome,
That's
Paul.
exciting.
I'm hopefully it helps you and Stephanie a lot more, so that when you're ready to book, you know, reach out to me. We'll work on it when you guys are ready.
Very good.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got a bit. Oh, this I got it. This one I want
Richard
to
has
see.
a video of him doing karaoke.
Uh-oh.
Yes, this one I want to see. Oh, this might get interesting, people.
Some action.
This might just get
Yeah.
interesting.
You will be able to act. This is entertainment that could actually be filmed.
Tell Stephanie go Flames, and when you
If I did karaoke, it would clear out the room, and not in a good way.
You mean you sound like a dying cow or what?
No, a dying cow probably sounds better.
I would say this. I sing pretty good, so I wouldn't clear out a room.
I don't know. I enjoy singing, but I
Might put
don't
a
know
few
how good
people
I
to
sound.
might put a few people to sleep, but
Of course, the karaoke is in one of the larger bars, so most of the people by then probably
Have had a few drinks.
wouldn't care.
Yeah.
yeah, most of them will probably be like they weren't feeling anything.
No.
Right.
But again, that's just the kind of fun that you can find on the cruise things. I mean, like I said, if you like, you know, you got Carnival, you got Royal Caribbean, you got MSC. I mean, you got people that love to gamble. You love to gamble, then you got that aboard ships.
Yeah.
So, you know, now of course with the casinos, you got to make sure you're out in international water. In most
Right,
places.
right.
You have to be in international
Now
water.
that's a difference between
Particularly if
Icon
you're coming
and
out of a
Disney.
U.S. port.
No casino on Disney and
No
Icon, of
casino on
course.
Disney.
Now, of course, we avoided the casinos because we got casinos each direction 10 minutes away.
Oh Lord, yeah, you're in Vegas, so you got casinos all up the wall.
Yeah.
In fact,
You
we
also,
could go.
you also have the mafia too, so you know.
Well, yeah, but not at the ones that are closest to us. They're more family oriented station casinos.
Well, local oriented.
yeah.
But then they have. We're about 15 minutes from the strip, but
Nice, Richard.
Yes, Richard was third out of 50 people
for what?
for how good he was
Oh.
in karaoke. Okay.
But starting tonight, they have the Las Vegas Grand Prix,
Oh, yes.
the Formula One racing that take over the Strip. The race is Saturday night, but tonight and tomorrow they do the time trials.
Yes, the practice
Oh,
run.
well, nobody watches Formula One anymore. Give me good old NASCAR. Give me your NASCAR.
Well, we have that.
It's real.
I'm a
we have that
NASCAR
too.
fan.
Yeah, NASCAR is popular here
I
too.
can-
They
we
have
have the Las
Give me the
Vegas Motors.
NASCAR.
We
Yeah.
have the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which is really nice.
Yeah,
we almost have every sport here in Vegas now. We are now building the stadium for the Oakland or they're no
the
longer
Vegas
Oakland,
Raiders. Vegas Raiders.
Sacramento. They're
Well, we've got the Raiders.
yeah,
And then the Oakland A's are moving here.
they're now Sacramento something.
Well, they're still,
A's.
yeah, but they imploded the Tropicana, which we watched, and they're building this state-of-the-art Major League Baseball stadium, literally right on the Strip. And all I can say is that if the traffic isn't bad enough now on the Strip, with let's put a Major League Baseball stadium right there that holds 30 to 40,000 people, and watch all those people get
And then, of
out.
course, we have the Vegas Knights.
The Golden Knights.
Jonathan, NASCAR is fun. Yeah, you can. You just. Yeah, our friends to the north just don't understand the procedure about racing and the kind of speed. I mean, believe me, if I could get over on the Autobahn, believe me, I'd be getting me a car that could do 200 and some odd miles, and I'd be going down the Autobahn real quick.
The Las Vegas Motor Speedway actually has two tracks. They have the oval, and then
I know, Jonathan. I know.
They have the drag strip.
I was teasing you back, buddy.
That's where we went to the food vent. And
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, well, hopefully your sports can do better than what your Vegas Raiders are, because honestly, the Vegas Raiders, as an NFL connoisseur,
They
remind me of the old Detroit Lions of 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully at some point they'll get better. Now, can't complain too much about the Knights.
The Golden Knights, yeah, they won the Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah, no, the Golden Knights is good. Your hockey team is good now.
Yeah, but it
and then
seems
also our Vegas ladies basketball team.
Yeah, the Aces
is fairly good.
They're good. Well, they were the national champions 2 years in a
row. Yes,
but yeah, we seem to be getting the Oakland rejects. First the Raiders, now we're getting the Athletics.
Well, they got to go somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're building this huge stadium for them. What we say?
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Build a big stadium to put all your rejects in. Okay.
Yep.
Is that what it is? That works. No, like anything, you got some good teams. Listen, I actually, that's like Detroit. Some of our teams are good. Look, it's taken 50 years for the Lions to be. I've never seen the Detroit Lions the way they are right now, and I am proud of them. I mean, they are getting an attitude to just tear everybody up. And what they did to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Anyways. Richard has a question for you.
Okay. Have we been to a BattleBots game? No. A BattleBots? No, I don't even know what that is. What is BattleBots?
I think it's something to do where they build robots, competition where they build robots and
I guess that would make sense.
They fight and destroy them.
Now you're talking,
that's what he's talking.
Richard, you're talking Allegiant Stadium? I think I have seen things on the news, but I have not been, believe it or not, we don't go to the Strip very much. We avoid it like the plague. We've been, in the years that we've lived here, we moved here March of 2018. We've only been to the Strip 5 times. Bot fight in the arena. Okay. So we've never been to Allegiant Stadium. We have not been to the Sphere. That's on my to-do list. We have not been to a Knights game. So I've been shopping. I think with 5, basically shopping, when people come in out of town, they want to go shopping.
Yeah, I think you're right, Richard.
Robot fighting arena that's televised
Yes,
on
it
USA.
is. There's
Okay.
a show that actually televises the robot fighting.
Interesting. I'll have to look for it and see what it is. But I can picture it in my mind. I just don't know if that's really what it is.
But all right, guys.
Okay.
Wow, we've been almost
Wow.
3 hours.
Is this like your longest stream ever?
Well, not on this
Not
channel.
counting the parks. Not counting the
Right.
parks.
No, not even. We've had a few long streams on the other channel that have been 3 or 4 hours. Back when Jesse was still around, we've had guests on, and it ended up going 4 or 5 hours. So. Oh, he says it was not on the strip.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay. Huh.
But I do know he's right. I can't remember what the name of the program was, but it's where they build. It's where teams build robots and they end up battling. And I can't remember.
Yeah, as I said, I can picture that. I can picture that in my mind because I have seen it on the news.
And I actually like watching it. There's some interesting robots that go banging each other to boom, boom, boom. It's fun. Robot pieces flying everywhere. It is pretty cool. But all right. Does anybody else have any questions for Joe and Mike? I mean, because I do want to first thank you guys for sending the pictures. That love them.
Well, yeah, no worries. Happy to do that, and we'll have more when we go on the treasure.
And I know Richard will probably want to pop in on that one for the treasure.
Caesar's Entertainment Studios, Koval Lane, just behind the horseshoe. Okay.
But so, any final comments from you, Joe, Joe and Mike?
Well, Mike is off talking to our younger daughter, the veterinarian, but no, basically, happy to answer any questions at any time. Should people be thinking about the cruising on the Icon and have questions?
Right. Then you can send them my way.
Yep.
But no, I'm glad you guys had a great trip, and thank you again. I appreciate you sharing the photos and the experiences and the fun you had on the Icon. Because
it was very thorough.
I tried to be, because I figured, you want to kind of see it through our eyes, basically, and experience it, as far as the food and the entertainment and all the stuff
you
going
see
on.
it through everyday people versus people that are like, I mean, yes, you're a great traveler, but there are people that travel like on a daily basis.
Right.
So,
Richard,
or travel agents who see it, from a different angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard's another one that I like bringing on, because he's the thing with Richard is he's done the different types of cruise lines. And I don't know when he's going again. I think, don't you have another cruise coming up pretty soon, Richard? Or just came off of one? I think he just came off of one in October, I believe.
Yeah, I thought he went on one like right around the same time or right before we did.
Yeah, I think September was the last one he did, I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know.
I know for us, it's the treasure. I know once my Social Security hits, we'll be looking at doing some of the smaller river cruises. I know we want to book the Star of the Seas.
And when I actually book mine, you guys will be doing a countdown to my cruise, and so we'll be doing some special shows on that one for sure.
Yeah.
As soon as I figure out which one I want to do and which one I can.
Exactly. You got to figure out which one you want to go on first.
Yeah, I know. I'm torn between doing a Disney cruise and doing a Royal Caribbean or a Carnival.
Well, you probably would get better deals definitely on Royal Caribbean and Carnival than on Disney. Disney doesn't,
Well-
from what I understand, they don't give deals to their travel agents.
No, they really don't. But
No.
I mean, but then they do get, so we get certain other perks that we do get certain other perks. So
Well, I know that if you book, I think is it 12 cabins now, your cabin is free. If you go together in a group,
it might be.
yeah.
I haven't. I mean,
I was going to go as part of a group of like 12 cabins. I think it was 30 people. And then a lot of people decided not to go at the last minute because they just thought it was too expensive and they needed the money elsewhere. Richard has an expertise in Disney. Okay. I've been on one Disney cruise, so I definitely wouldn't consider myself to be that knowledgeable.
yes. Hold up. Hold on.
Right.
Oh, okay. That- I'll have to go check that out and see if anything else has come up on that one. Because believe me, if I can do that one. Oh, it's just taking a look at it, something on Disney.
Thank you, Jonathan. I think you're telling me we made great photos. Yes. We
Yes, we-
tried. We knew we were going to talk about it, so we wanted to highlight certain things.
And I'm just glad we were able to get everything and put it together and be able to do it.
So Jonathan Richard just said he went on Princess.
Oh God, are you doing which one you going to, Richard? Are you doing Viking?
I was going to say, yeah, Viking.
There you go.
Okay,
Viking.
he needs to tell me about that after he does it because I would love to do some of the river cruises.
I want him to come on board
Yes.
because I'm going to reach out. I'm in the middle. I'm still got a little bit of training left to do on Viking, and then I'm going to try to get them to come on board and do a.
He needs to tell us how expensive it is so I know and what the highlights are as far as, because that's something I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that is definitely.
He's been on 12 Disney
Wow.
cruises. So
Yes,
he's platinum
he's
for
definitely-
sure.
Yes, he's up there.
Yeah, I think that's platinum.
Yeah,
I've been on one, so I get a tote bag on the Treasure.
between me and you, Richard, me and you need to book we actually need to go do a cruise. And next year I plan on doing it. I just don't know which one I'm doing. We keep now that I'm free of now we can actually talk about it, Richard, because now that I don't have to take care of my parents, I'm free to actually start doing that. So okay. What about you, Mama D? What's your final thoughts on tonight?
I'm just very grateful. I'm grateful to Jill and Mike definitely for, providing their experiences and their photos, and it was very thorough. It was very, it started from A to Z. Getting on the ships, before getting on the ship, they gave great insight on going on and cruises in general, and specifically this particular cruise.
Thank you.
You know?
I tried.
Yep.
And
Did a
that's
great job.
People just don't. People don't. If they're unaware of what it is or even have any knowledge, then they're afraid of it. But as long as you have some basic ideas of what it is, yes, everybody's experience is different.
Well,
Who are you going to be with? If you're going to be by yourself or a group of people,
Yeah.
or your partner,
Yeah,
or whatever it
yeah.
is, everyone's experiences can be different. But as long
Yeah.
as you have the basics and you have some knowledge, the fear doesn't seem as frightening. It doesn't. It seems to be more reality of maybe
Bingo.
going on one than not going on one.
Exactly. And I know you know that as well. Exactly, Richard. They do work with, that's the one good thing about the Disney Cruise Line, that they work with Viking on cruise things as excursions
Right.
through Adventures by Disney.
Yeah. So Debbie, definitely for you, shorter cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, and hopefully with at least one other person so you can have someone to interact with.
Right. Exactly.
Yep, exactly. Okay, guys. Wow, it's getting closer to 3-hour mark here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're at 3
Yeah.
hours. Yes.
But you know what? It's been fun and just hanging out and talking. I mean, we've got a lot of good things coming up. Like I said, I figure, 6 o'clock, we'll have Richard come on and let him talk about his princess stuff and get a different. Yep. Danny B goes through Germany.
Yes, Daniel was, and I wanted to do like the Rhine. That's another
Yeah,
one.
the Rhine is one of them.
I do want to do a Norway cruise. Well, of course, through the fjords at some point. Before I get old and decrepit and can't walk.
Well, yeah. Yep. Go be a Viking and take over some ships.
Yes.
There you go. And we kick off all Starbucks.
Well, not very many ships have Starbucks, so you're good there.
Thank good.
So just to summarize, Tuesday night is your regular travel discussion.
Tuesday night, and
then Wednesday you said probably 2 shows, 6 and 9 or thereabouts.
6 and 9. I'll probably do one at 6 o'clock. I will do a one, and then 9 o'clock I'll try to do one. I can't guarantee you what the connection will be like because I'll be on my hotspot. Because where I'm at, I won't have internet connection, but I can connect it. I should be able to connect it through my phone. So I have to see about that, but do what we can. It's just going to be fun and just hang out and talk about cruising.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Cruises and food are 2 favorite subjects.
yes. And obviously something that's Richard and Mike knows about, food.
Yes.
Yep.
We just got to educate a certain other person about a certain other place. What, Debbie? I said a certain other person about a certain other thing. I didn't mention no names. It's not like I was going to mention Mike in Starbucks.
Yes.
You had to go there, didn't you?
He had to. His parting shot for the evening.
Exactly.
All right.
Especially since I don't have to get up since I don't go to work till 1:30 tomorrow.
Oh, that's late.
Well, I work 1:30 to 10 tomorrow.
That's
and then I'm off on vacation for a week or Thanksgiving.
okay. Well,
So.
Yeah, I got an early morning medical test to go for tomorrow.
So you go get some sleep, and again, thank you, Jill and Mike, for being here. Thank you for having fun, and it's been a blast, guys. I enjoyed it.
No worries. We'll do this again in March.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to it.
Very good.
So, again, don't forget, guys, if you're new to my channel, my name is Dave Cantrell. I'm the agent and owner of the Cantrell Country Travelway. If you are looking to travel, this is the type of shows we do. We talk about the different cruise lines on this one. Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock, I do what's called the Dave's Vacation Oasis, where we go to different areas. We're now actually starting to travel outside of the U.S. and talk about different countries to travel to. We will, next Tuesday, we'll continue with England. And of course, Debbie, you're 6 p.m., Richard, 6 p.m. on Tuesday. So if you want to join us, you're more than welcome, buddy. But we'll finish up on England. So Debbie, you're more than welcome to join us on 6 if you're free. Because I do like there's a lot of interesting things in England. But it should be interesting. And then like I said, Wednesday, double dose of the cruise lines. First Richard and the Princess, and then Wednesday night at 9:00, I will finish up with the second part. Whose ears are ringing? Mikey's? Probably because they closed all the Starbucks. They sold all the stock. I heard it went bankrupt on Wall Street today.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm just saying. That's just FYI. You know, that's
There'll be lots of crying people.
yes. I know I'm going to hear it from Stephanie and Mike. I guarantee you. But that's okay. That's what I love about this community. We can pick on each other and have fun. But other than that, our guys, have a safe next week. Stay safe or have a happy Thanksgiving. If I don't get to see you in the chats on Tuesday and Wednesday. So with that,
Yes.
I'm going to say, like my thing is, if you are looking to travel, I know Debbie posted the links earlier in the chat. Jonathan's still in here? I don't know if any Jonathan's still in here.
Jonathan was here. He got quiet.
I was going to say, if we can put my links in there one more time for anybody that might catch the replay. Yes, if you,
Oh yeah, he's
Jonathan,
there.
Jonathan, can you repost all my links? Oh, thank you.
I just got it, Dave. I just got it, Dave.
Yep. Yeah, Jonathan, if you can help her and post the rest of the links.
I got it. I got it.
Debbie's on top of it.
Debbie's always on.
top of it.
That's why she's Mama D. She's always
Yeah,
on top of it.
I'm slower on the links, so I don't even try. I just try to be the Google person and the greeting person.
No, which works because you know what? It's like Pete says. Y'all bring different things to this channel, which help me. I don't have to worry about putting the links in there, but those links are my lifeline right now to that
Right.
thing in the right corner
Yes.
of the screen, which is my business. So if you are new to my channel and you like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, share it out. And if you are looking to travel, and whether you've got an itinerary that you have in mind or whether you need help planning a vacation, let the Cantrell Country Travelway help you find that magical vacation. Yes, she is, Paul. Debbie is like right on the links. Yes, thank you for, there you go, Jonathan. That's one of the few that she does forget about, the Facebook.
Oh yeah, I forgot the.
There's always, there's about 4 links. Hopefully
I put that on my list.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's all going to cut down, guys.
I need to create a cheat sheet so that I can just go to something, copy and paste.
I wish I wish there was some type of cheat sheet somebody could create for on a file on Wordsheet or something that all the mods in here could have so that it's easy to.
I could do that, Dave. I'll do that.
If you can do that and then share it out with the rest of my mods, Debbie,
Sure.
that would be good. That way,
just put it on the IG mod sheet, the
Okay.
mod page,
I got it.
and then I can copy and paste it and have
All
it
right.
right there.
there you go. Exactly. I mean, that's what the other mod thing was for, but I'm sure it's probably lost somewhere in who knows where.
It's at the very top,
So
probably.
what I'm thinking is if we can actually create a spreadsheet like Jesse did for Pete, and you guys can have it on your computer and you can pull it up and you got access to it, is
Yep.
what I was thinking. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that we need to see if somebody can create a work document that we can share for all the mods so that you all have it.
Yeah, that would be helpful because we could just save it on our computer, bring it up, and have it
Exactly.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jesse
I'll
did
work,
at the start.
I'll work on that, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. So with that, guys, if you are new and you're watching the replay again, the links have been put in there and you are looking to travel, reach out to me at the Cantrell Country Travelway and let us help you find your magical vacation. if you guys will hold on, I'll talk to you guys one more time before we leave.
Okay.
Okay.
So everybody else, have a great night, and we'll see you in the chats across.
Yep.
Whether it's Disney or somewhere. We'll see y'all later.
Good night.
Bye,
night.
guys.